Hello, everybody. Merry Christmas Eve. My internet sucks, so I'll probably cut out here um, several times. I hope not. Uh, I don't. I need to like add some data to my phone or something to get it to where it doesn't cut out a lot on the Wi-Fi and all that. But anyway, I just wanted to. Yeah, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. No one else is on. I figured some people might be cruising the internet, whatever. And Merry Christmas Eve, everybody. Um, I had like a lot of good memories growing up as far as um we would always go, we always opened up our presents on Christmas Eve night, not like at 3 in the morning like now. But like we would go to church and open up our, go home after church, watch the children's Christmas program, um, and then go home for chili and or hi Prelim. Nice to see you here. Yeah, and then we would have potato soup and chili, and then open up all our presents except for one. We would save one for Christmas Day, but that was kind of what my family would do, and I'm not near my family right now. I mean, they're not that far away. They're maybe like 5 or 6 hours, whatever, but I'm not going to be able to Merry Christmas to you as well, Prelim. Yes. And but anyway, we would open up almost all our presents on. My Wi-Fi sucks. No, it's just I need to like put some data on my phone so that when I do go live that it doesn't cut out, because I know it's probably going to cut out and I hate that. It's just whatever. It doesn't matter. Where I was before, it had better Wi-Fi, but this place is so much cheaper. It's close to my work. I live like 3 blocks from work. I can just walk in the morning. It takes me like 20 minutes max, to walk to work from where I am now. And so I'm actually really happy, even though my Wi-Fi didn't work that well. Um, but anyway, no, I felt like going live because I didn't see anybody else on, and I thought maybe some other people would be up this late at night. I know a lot of us are night owls, and I don't know, I'm excited because I have a couple days off. Obviously, I mean, today and tomorrow I have off, so that's really nice just to have off. I mean, of course, I only get paid for one day, which is Christmas Day, but so I don't get paid even though I have to take it off for Christmas Eve. But am I in the mountains? No, I am sort of, but kind of not. I'm in Grand Junction, which it's kind of like in a bowl. There's like a mesa all around. And it's really beautiful here. I mean, I love living where I live for sure. And before I was on the plains, obviously, and I'm still thinking about changing my name. I don't know if I want to do Rain on the Plains, like PLANES, for as far as like the planes of existence, or I might do the realities of rain. I'm trying to think of like other ones that I could possibly change it to, or I may just keep it, the farming ground plains anymore. Um, I don't know. I'm because everybody knows me like that, So that's kind of why, I'm kind of thinking about just doing it like PLANES, like planes of existence, like your, I don't know, or I don't know, the realities of rain kind of sounds pretty cool too. I'm still trying to decide. I haven't changed it yet. You slept for 3 hours? Yeah, oh, my sleep patterns are just weird. I mean, I either sleep all the time or not at all. And so, like, for instance, I haven't slept since last night, at all. Um, I either sleep like a couple hours every night or like 12 hours every night. It's weird. It's really weird. And then like it kind of gets me in trouble with work because like for instance this morning, I mean I don't have to go in till 10 a.m. but I didn't wake up until 9:05, so I barely made it to work, on time. And because I had to take a shower, I had to do some stuff, and I was just like I mean I set my alarm for like 6:45 every morning, and I don't wake up. I mean I just I sleep through the whole thing, and so I actually almost got fired because of it. um you made a new name, but was it like Preliminimal? Because I saw you that on Digi's channel the other day. Do you want to come on, Prelim? Might as well. Let's see. I'll go ahead and put the invite in the stream. You can come on if you want to. If you don't want to, that's fine too. It's up to you. So I put it in the chat. But yeah, I just it's Christmas Eve, it's special time. And I know that Jesus probably wasn't even born at Christmas or whatever, and the whole Saturnalia thing, I get it, but it's just like, when you think about like your family memories or your, it is kind of a nice uh just to look back on memories and stuff like that from, when whenever, and I just remember just even my kids and stuff, which I never taught them Santa Claus. I never did that. And if you heard the broadcast with uh with my son, then you would know that like I'm gonna add you to the stream just in a second, Prelim. Hang on. I just want to finish this story real quick and then I'm gonna add you. But anyway, yeah, I never taught him the tooth fairy. And so like, but he would say, well, Mom, maybe the dentist will give me 50 cents because he knew the dentist was real. It's just hilarious. Okay, I'm gonna add you now, Prelim. Hey, how are you doing?
Good morning. Hi, Ray.
Merry Christmas Eve. How are you doing?
Yeah. Wow. It is Christmas Eve. I was thinking it was the 23rd. Good. Oh, yeah. My sleep pattern varies between like 3 to 7 hours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um,
I don't know what the deal is with me. It's just like I either sleep all the time or not at all. And I think a lot of it has to do with the Schumann resonance. Like I see the
yeah.
correlation. I don't know if do you find that as well?
I don't follow it that closely. I'm aware of it, and it does seem to have something to do with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, do you have any special plans for Christmas or anything?
Just getting together with family here. I live in the same city and they're, a few miles away. And my brother and his wife and my sister and their kids and her husband and my parents are, it's like all 4 different places.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I'm just getting together with a girlfriend because like my family lives 5 or 6 hours away, and I mean, I'm probably going to go
Uh-huh.
in January for my mom's birthday. Her
Yeah.
birthday is always around Martin Luther King. So, and then I have to take that day off anyway because of work, because that's one of the days that we are mandated to take off. So I'm probably going to go home and see her for her birthday
Oh, that's
around
great.
that time. But yeah, but for Christmas, I'm just here by myself. But I am going to go out with a girlfriend. We're going to uh,
Mhm.
tomorrow or this morning or this afternoon, I guess, we're gonna go play some pool, and it's ladies' night on Tuesdays at
Hmm.
this place, that I go to. So
Oh, that sounds
we're gonna
fun.
have some fun, but I mean, it's not the same as being with family, of course,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
gonna, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
And you
My
know,
mom's is on the 27th, her birthday, and so it's always kind of we tend to forget about it because it's right next to Christmas, so we always
mhm.
have to have, like, a second thing on the 27th.
Well, that's how my son is. My
Yeah.
son, my second son was born the day after Christmas, and I have a
Oh,
kind of a funny story to tell about that. Hi, Buster. Thanks for being here. But I have kind of a funny story about
uh-huh.
it was we were at my sister-in-law's for Christmas, and this is when I was about ready to pop with my second son. I mean, I was overdue and everything. And anyway, so they were handing out the presents and everything, and
Mhm.
I get my present, and it says "Merry Christmas from Satan."
From
instead,
Dayton.
instead of Santa, she had put, and
Uh-uh.
my face just went white. I was so
Oh,
upset because I'm thinking Rosemary's Baby. Here I am, 9 months pregnant. And so my face went white, and I showed it to my ex-husband at the time, and he literally fell on the floor
yeah.
laughing. He was laughing so hard because his mom had put that on everybody's presents from
Oh, no.
Satan instead of Santa.
Yeah, and she didn't was she joking or just
No,
misspelling?
she just did it on accident.
Oh, I
She just
see,
did it
yeah.
on accident. It was funny, but anyway, it put me into such a shock that I had my son the next day. The day after Christmas.
Wow. Mm.
So, but anyway, I don't know if you had a chance to listen to my son. I had both my younger and my older one. I have two boys, and I don't know
Uh-huh.
if you had a chance to hear those interviews, but they were pretty good because it was
Yeah,
kind of funny because they got the download right in the middle of the interviews. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But yet at the same time, some of them, they were shocked at some of the other stuff that I was saying too. So it was kind of fun. It was a good interview, and I hope to do sometime during this holiday season. I want to get the three of us together to do another one. All three of us.
The
But
the f the family ones, including a couple other channels, you could tell right away, like, the kids or with yours anyway, it seemed like they were just trying to understand, I don't know
mhm,
if it was the download or because, they could see, like, it's important to you, and I don't think they are really, it's I think for some, it's just hard to really be interested in it without seeing the same changes or the same degree of
mhm.
intensity. Like, I thought your son didn't seem very interested in it. I mean, he was listening and responding. Just he he didn't seem like he was really into it. Like that was the
Yeah,
impression I got in one of the videos with one of your sons.
yeah. The younger one didn't seem as interested, but like my older one, that was
Okay.
actually a longer interview.
Okay.
And when I did the JFK, when I talked about that, he was like, "Oh my God," he was shocked at that middle seat. He really was. I don't know if
Yeah.
you heard that part of it, but and then a couple other things too. But what bothers me about my older one, and I
Uh-huh.
don't care if he's listening now or if he listens to this later. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, they know that everything's cool,
And
but
they're younger, so I mean, like JFK. I mean, I remember watching that many times. It would be
mhm,
on every year on PBS or
mhm.
whenever they would show the
but
clip.
but he was shocked at that middle seat. He's like, "That middle seat should not be there." And I was like, "I know, I told you."
Yeah.
But what's weird about my older son, which really bothers me, and I don't care if he hears this, it's fine. But
Mhm.
like, my younger one told me about, because when I started researching the Mandela effect, he said, "Well, you should talk to Mez because he has been researching the Sinbad movie. And then, of course,
Huh.
my older one gets on and he's like, oh, well, just 30 minutes ago, I realized that that wasn't the Sinbad movie that I was thinking about.
Uh,
Like, what the heck? You just got to download. Are you really my son? You know? And I kept giving him crap about it, you know? But yeah, it's just, it's
I
weird because,
I remember a genie movie in the 90s, and I found it at the library, and it was only like 2 years old, and it was a really good movie. It was I just don't remember Sinbad, but it was a 90s genie movie, and that one.
mm-hmm.
That's all I can remember. It was there was a really good, well done genie movie, and it wasn't Shazam. It wasn't, the other one.
Right. And see, even both
And
of my sons admitted that they hadn't even seen the one with Shaq, you
yeah,
know? And I
yeah,
know they
I
saw
didn't
the
see
one
that
with
one.
Sinbad, you know?
Yeah, I had no interest in seeing the Shock one. But this one I found at the library. It was charmingly done. I mean, but I just don't remember the character of the actor of him in it. So I've looked. I haven't been able to find it again since
Hmm.
2016. So I'm wondering, what was that movie I saw in the 90s, and if it
Well,
was.
it may have been the Sinbad one. It may have been like there were
Yeah,
some other ones that didn't really have to do with Sinbad or anything, but
yeah,
and that's the ones my son said that they were talking about, which I know that they both remember that Sinbad
huh,
movie, even though they said they didn't. I
yeah,
mean, because we watched it as a family, and that's
yeah.
what he was researching with the Mandela effect. And then he comes on my show and he's like, well, just 30 minutes ago, I realized that that's not what I was really researching. And I'm like, are you
Hmm.
kidding me? You just got the download.
Uh, if I
It,
find that, I will let people
mhm.
know what it was, because I just want to see it again, wondering what was that and why did I like it and what was good about it.
Mhm. Yeah. But anyway, so
Um, have you noticed any other changes recently?
um well, the weird one is that no, I haven't really. But the weird one for me is that everybody else saw that Chick-fil-A with the K just like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I saw it 3 years ago, and you
What
said
is
you
it?
did too.
What is it now?
It has a K on it, but
CK? Is it CK or just K?
CK.
What? That's what it is now?
Hmm.
That is very weird. That one flip-flopped us.
But you saw it 3 years ago, right?
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was
Yeah,
always
me too.
YC. So that is.
Yeah, for me at first, I mean, because I always made fun of that spelling because I always called it chic filet,
Shoot.
and I was
Right.
like, I made fun of it. But I saw it change to a K 3 years ago, and then for some people
Hmm.
to only see it 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago or whatever it was, when half of us in Digi's broadcast that one night, that
Yeah.
was so weird because it's like, I know these people are telling me the truth. I
Hmm.
trust these people, but yet, we saw it 3 years ago and they saw it 3 weeks ago. I mean, it's just crazy. I
A
don't know.
weird change I found is that the Great Wall of China, 3 years ago, it became fragmented. Like, it used to go all the way around the top, the left, and the south, and then by the sea it was more open. But then it became gapped, like all these fragmented parts of the Great Wall of China. But now it's
Hmm.
just in the center, like beneath where Mongolia is now. And I mean, it was considered one of the great wonders of the world, ancient wonders.
Hmm. Yeah.
But now, if you look up Great Wall of China, it's just this thing going through the middle instead of going all the way around like it used to. So that's a
For
huge,
me, it
huge ME.
For me, it just actually did go through the middle. That's odd because
Yeah.
most of the time you and I see the same thing, but for me, actually, it was just through the middle and not around.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is so
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
Wow, for me it went around.
Yeah. And so that's what's weird about all this stuff too, is that we see different stuff and
Yeah.
well, and Mongolia was never a country for me.
No,
I
no.
mean, you
Not
know,
not since Genghis Khan was defeated.
right.
That was
Right.
800 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, obviously it was an ancient country, but not
Right.
like a modern country, you know.
Yeah.
And when I saw Mongolia be in the country, I was like, what? What in the
Yeah.
world? You know? And then
And
a
yeah,
huge one for me as well is Kazakhstan because I
yeah,
had friends that were missionaries in Kazakhstan. And
yeah, wow.
so that country was never that big. And the capital, which this is a legitimate change,
Yeah.
went from Alma-Ata or Almaty or however you want to pronounce it to Astana.
Mhm.
But that is a legitimate surely an Emmy. But I still think it's
Yeah.
weird with these ghost cities or whatever in Kazakhstan
Yeah,
and the
and
fact that it's so huge because it was never that big.
right. Remember when Scarab did a video about, these new ancient, uh,
Hmm.
buildings in Kazakhstan that, you would they
Yeah,
would be famous, like, you would have heard about them somewhere or seen it on National Geographic or something.
exactly.
You know
Astana. That I mean, it basically just popped up out of nowhere almost.
Yeah,
You know, with all
and
these buildings and the capital and the I
yeah,
mean, it is a legitimate change, but I mean,
it
all
got
those
so we
yeah.
saw it get bigger. I mean, like, each few months, I would look at it, and it was, like, be expanding more to the west, and it started out just very small,
Mhm.
place, and just, like, it's like somebody wanted to make it like it was almost deliberate or controlled by
Mhm.
whoever's causing the changes.
Right. Well, and then also, I
Mm.
don't know, since you're in Wisconsin, maybe you think the same, maybe not, but like Michigan has totally changed for me.
Huh.
Like the Upper Peninsula,
Yeah.
it looks totally different. It looks like a bunny hopping. It was way smaller than that
Hmm.
for me. So I don't know. Have you seen any changes? You might
I
be too close to it because sometimes when you're close to it,
Yeah,
you know, because like
that's
even
true.
some people
No.
say that Colorado like bordered Canada, and I'm like, what?
Yeah,
No,
I
never
never
for me, but
I
for
never saw
them,
that one.
it did.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, the Upper
So,
Peninsula of Michigan, I've gone up there skiing a few times, but that's true that when you're close to a geographic change, that area doesn't change for the person. Like Stasha
mhm.
Eriksson in Sweden, when I asked her if Sweden was very different to her, she said it hadn't changed for her.
Mhm.
And for me, that's a major
Mhm.
major change. Sweden.
Yeah, I think when you're too close to it, you just don't see it, you know? And so like for me, Michigan is whack. I mean, and then
Wow.
also like well, of course I've always talked about Dallas and then also Florida, like the northern border of
Hmm.
Florida, it was always straight across and then the panhandle was like a lot longer
Hmm.
too on the western side
Yeah.
and it just did not look the same. Florida does not look the same to me at all either. I mean
The very
there's
tip.
several states that look weird.
Yeah. The very southern tip of Florida looks like it changed shape because to me it was a little bit more round at the tip, and now it's kind
Hmm.
of like has a flattened part that part looks new to me.
But a lot of people talk about the Emmy as far as Florida, the lake in
Uh,
the middle. I think it's Okeechobee or I don't know, something like that. I can't remember. I'll have to look it
yeah,
up. But for me, that was always
by
that.
Orlando.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's
It
see. But see, like when I, like I'm right map of Florida, and it never dipped down
Uh-huh.
like that. It was always just straight, and it's just
Yeah.
weird. And I even lived in that area. I mean, I lived near Alabama, but it was like less than an hour from Pensacola, and so
Hmm.
I lived there. And my twin aunts live there.
Uh,
And it has always been like on my radar
Houston.
as far as stuff like that as well. But
Yeah. Another one is Houston being on the coast now of Texas. I just remember it being more inland to the northwest from where it is now. But I've talked to a few
see, for
others
me,
and
it
said
was
no, for
actually,
them it was always what?
yeah, for me, see, now the map right now, Houston is a
Yeah.
little bit inland, but for me, it was always on the coast. I mean, isn't that weird? Isn't
Ah,
that weird? And then San Antonio is too far north. San Antonio is always a little bit further south for me than what it is.
yeah,
And then of course Dallas. I mean, oh my God. I mean, I've gone on and
yeah,
on about Dallas. It took me a
yeah.
year to
The
finally
one.
get scared to admit that Dallas moved. And then what's funny too
But see, but
is
he's
Texas.
close to it, so
Yep,
yeah,
yep. Because
it's
Texas Yanni always said Dallas is always where it was, you know? And then finally, about a
yeah,
month
okay.
ago, he wrote me a message. He's like, I cannot believe this. Dallas moved.
Wow.
And I was like, I told you. But
There was a few others. Yeah,
mhm.
I'm listening. There was a few others that have agreed about Houston. Like they remember it as I do, as not being on the
Mhm.
coast and being more inland.
Mhm. And
But
then
they didn't, they weren't.
my son lives
Yeah,
near New Orleans, and New Orleans has totally changed. I mean, it was
yeah.
in the Gulf, and now it's
Hmm.
like it's way inland now. And
It,
so
it has this
that's
weird
weird for me as well.
wiry, this thing that's sort of hanging out at the edge of Louisiana now.
Mhm.
But I just that could be misremembering or just not knowing. But it looks new to me, so I don't know.
It didn't stick out like that, and it wasn't as
Yeah,
raggedy, you
yeah, I didn't
know?
think so.
Um, yeah, everything
Seattle,
is so raggedy
yeah,
now.
Seattle is a really crazy change. Because I took a train out there in the late '90s, and for me, Seattle was more towards the coast, but now it's all inland,
It's way inland now.
and
I'm looking at the map, and I'm like,
it's
"God,
just
it's,
that,
like, way inland," and that
like
it was never
it,
that far inland.
yeah, it was never, yeah, in the reality I was in, it was never that far in. And that border, the north border of Oregon has like a swivel in it now. Like it used to just go straight across. And Portland, like it just looks like there's a ripple on the top of
Portland
the.
is way north. It was never that far north, was
Yeah,
it?
no, for me it was a little bit more west, and it didn't rise above the board. Like that border changed. It makes Washington look smaller. And the corner, where Vancouver Island is now, there's a lot more water right in that northwest corner of Washington. It just looks like a lot more water there. So that's just, that's yeah,
Yeah,
Washington's
I'm not
another.
sure about that part, but, just because I don't know, I'm
Yeah,
not doubting you or anything, but Seattle was never
yeah,
that far inland. It was always closer to the coast to me.
yeah. I agree. I was there, and I remember taking a ferry boat across to Maccabee Island, Whidbey Island, those two islands, and it was by the coast, and Whidbey Island had
Mhm.
these. It was like a cliff island, like all the edges of it went really steep, high up, and the island itself just stood on, like in this strange kind of cliff. The edges of it being like drop offs. Very weird island. and all these houses being right on the cliff. I thought, man, I would not want to live in a house by a cliff. No way.
Yeah. Seattle just looks way too far inland. I mean, I just can't even believe that. That's weird. That it was never that far. Now, if Colorado changes or Wyoming, the square states, then I'm really going to be, then I'm really going to be like, what's going on? Because if that ever changes, that's going to be funny. But yeah, just
Hudson Bay is
and then there's
bigger.
Oh yeah, Hudson Bay is huge.
It's ridiculous. I mean,
It's
because I thought a
gigantic.
year ago, I thought it wasn't going to get any bigger, and then it did. Still there?
Yeah, it's absolutely gigantic now. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
it looks silly actually.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and then like Lone Eagle was saying how, Canada had more landmass than the United States, and now all of a sudden the United States has more landmass. Because Hudson Bay is
right.
It's taken away all that land, I guess. I don't know.
And the parts on top seem to be more crunched down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hi,
Now,
I is in this.
are you one
stream.
that has known about Svalbard the whole time? Because that just popped up out of nowhere for me like 2 or 3 years ago.
No, I didn't know that. And Finland stretches way. I mean, Finland for me was a small, boxy. It was sort of in that area, yet more to the east. But it was small. I had a friend named Oli who was an AFS student in high school, and I remember looking at the map of Finland, and it was much smaller. And I think Svalbard is like right above that.
Well, and Norway looks really weird to me now. I mean, it is. I mean, it was skinny, but it wasn't that skinny. I mean, it's tiny now. That's weird.
Norway was really small. It was an island country where I was, and it had a narrow. There was a narrow country right next to it, but it never stretched way up like that either. And I can't find others who were in that memory, in that version of it.
Well, and then a lot of people say about, like, I don't personally remember. People say that Germany was landlocked and now it's not. And I actually, even though my heritage is from Germany and stuff, I cannot even speak to that because I don't know, but I think it's interesting, that they say that.
Yeah, for me it was, and Poland didn't have a shore either. Like where North Poland is now, that's where Sweden was, and Sweden was more like it was on that shore right above Poland. And Germany, the shape of Germany was more of an east-west shape, and now it's more like north-south shape.
I just remember Germany, France, and Spain are weird to me because I don't remember it looking like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, Spain didn't sag down like that.
Yes, exactly.
It was more
to the side of France.
Side, right. It was more side. I drew a map of that, how I remember that whole part of Europe, and I posted it on my FB group. If you want to see it.
Yeah, well,
I should make a video of that.
Well, and then even I have been to Egypt, so when I look at Egypt.
Wow, what was that like?
I loved it. I was there when Iraq invaded Kuwait in 1990. That's when I was there. I was there the summer of 1990. Yeah, but just looking at Egypt right now, I mean, it wasn't that slanted on the right-hand side for me at all. I mean, it
Mhm.
was slanted, but not that much. So that
Yeah,
looks weird to me.
yeah, Egypt looks dislocated, and Saudi Arabia looks like it's a different landmass now.
Well, and that point, there's a point right on that United Arab Emirates, that little pointy thing that's sticking out like that. That was
Oh,
never like that.
yeah,
There was no little pointy like that. And then even Africa
yeah.
too, right below
Oh, yeah.
Yemen, that
Yeah, but
point was
I
not
know.
that pointy. It was not that pointy.
And
It's
yeah,
crazy to me.
where Morocco is, like, there's an extra, ridge on the northwest corner of Africa that wasn't
Hmm.
there. It's like that just was added to it, that wasn't there.
Yeah, Morocco does not look right to me
In
either.
Morocco, yeah.
That whole northern border of Africa does not look right to me
Me
at
neither.
all.
No, it changed.
However, I do remember that and when you look at the map, I do remember
And
that the
the
Mediterranean
proportion.
Sea
Yeah,
looks like a duck. I mean, it does.
yeah.
So that part is the same, but yet
It was wider,
everything's
I
still
thought.
weird. I don't know.
The north-south, yeah, I mean, to me, there was more water going north-south between Africa and Europe, and Africa looks larger in
Hmm.
proportion to Europe, like, it was down further, and the middle, like, Lone Eagle did a video about where the middle of the desert area was closer to the equator, and I agree with that.
Hmm.
It just
Yes.
looks, like, out of proportion, and
Hmm. Now, a lot of people say, and I want to speak to this because I actually even talked about this on Scare Performance one time because he's really into Egypt as well.
yeah,
But I do want to talk about this because in 1990, okay, that's when I was
okay.
there.
You were there, yeah.
Um, People say, well, the pyramids were never that close to the city. Well, they were for me.
Huh,
So, and this was in 1990 even.
okay.
So it was
Cairo.
a long time ago,
Mhm,
and I was only 22 at the time, I guess.
mhm.
But but I could see the pyramids from the city easily, and
Interesting.
um, it. Now I do agree that there's
Did you
like
take a
more.
camel? Did you
I went horseback riding at the foot of the pyramids. I've got pictures.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
I've never heard they had horses there.
yeah.
I thought it
Oh
was
no.
camels.
Well, I rode camels too, but
Oh.
I went horseback riding because like people make fun of me for it. They're like, well, how come you didn't ride a camel? You rode a horse? And I'm like, well, I
No,
was,
this is the first time I've ever heard that somebody had a horse there because it was always camels.
no, I rode
Oh,
horses at the foot of the pyramids and it was great because,
oh,
I mean, I grew up with horses, you
huh,
know, and they gave you the option of either a camel or a horse, and I took the horse,
yeah.
just because I grew up with horses and stuff like that. But yeah, I went to, and then not only was I in Cairo, I also went down to Luxor and Aswan, and also to Alexandria, and I also traveled through.
Wow.
Um,
Wait.
where what they think of as Mount Sinai and the Sinai Peninsula. I mean,
Yeah. Did you
yeah,
see
this
that
was,
the walled city in Mount Sinai where it's like an ancient walled city in the middle of nowhere, and it's just like surrounded by dunes, but it has a little.
no, I didn't see that.
Oh, it was just on Lone Eagle's channel about
Huh.
6 days ago.
I'll have to check
Yeah,
that out, but no,
it's cool.
I didn't see anything like that. Now I did climb what they call is Mount Sinai. I
Mhm.
have pictures. I mean, I can put them up, I'll probably
Yeah.
will. Um, because, but no, I don't remember that part.
Okay.
But I'm
Yeah,
not doubting him, but I
it's
don't,
new.
I didn't see that.
It's new to me too. He just had it on his channel a week ago or less, and I thought, wow, that's so interesting. I've never seen that,
Hmm.
and it's big.
Yeah.
It's like an actual city from I don't know 2,000 years ago, I think. And
Hmm.
but it's not. I don't think nobody live. It's abandoned, but it's a huge desert city.
I didn't see any of that, but
Mount yeah,
I mean,
Mount Sinai.
mhm. But I climbed
But as you were
Mount,
yeah, as
what's
you were
Mount Sinai? It's like there's like a convent or something, like, and everything, and you just
oh,
you wake up early and you go, and it's really really cool. I mean, I loved it. I mean, of course, this
wow,
was
yeah,
forever ago, but it was
yeah,
like an experience of a lifetime. I mean, it was really
mm,
great, But this was a
mhm.
long time ago, and my
And
parents were
that's
freaking
great
out because
because Kuwait was going on.
yeah, yeah,
This the
Iraq
desert
invaded Kuwait
desert
that summer that I
yeah,
so that's when the Gulf War
wow,
started, it was 1990 and
yeah,
my parents were freaking the heck out, because they were worried about me and stuff. But you know what? I actually felt so safe there, and I
uh-huh.
would feel safer then in 1990 than I would today. There's
Were
no
there
way. I don't think I would feel safe if I went there today.
and you were with other travelers from other countries?
Hmm.
Yeah, then
Yeah, I
I'm
was
sure they
with
had
a
that
group.
part of
Hmm.
that's
Yeah,
good.
I was with a group. Yeah. And but I was there for 3 months. I mean, like by the end of the 3-month period, I could get around in a taxi cab, no problem. I mean, like I wouldn't even tell them where I wanted to go. I would just say,
Mhm.
straight ahead, left, right, whatever, because they would rip you off.
Yeah.
And so like,
Yeah,
but by
you'd have
the
to
end
be.
of and then I audited classes at the American University in Cairo. That's when
Mhm.
the American University of Cairo was in the city. Now it's like kind of on the outskirts or somewhere else, I guess. I don't
Huh.
know. But at that time it was in the middle of the city. And so I audited classes at the American University of Cairo, and it was just fantastic. I mean, I honestly, if the war wouldn't have broken out, I
Mhm.
probably would have tried to stay there and get a master's degree in something
Yeah.
at the American University of because I had already graduated,
Yeah.
but I probably would have stayed there if the war hadn't broken out, because
Yeah.
I loved it there. I absolutely loved it, and I loved the people. I loved the
God, see, when
setting,
I
and
think about it,
there was.
that whole area with Syria and Iraq, and I mean, it's so tragic what's happened. It could have been avoided. It just seems like it was all so unnecessary. Like
Right.
they just made it. All they do is make things worse. And the Saddam Hussein, he was kind of aware of how complicated it was, and he was just trying to rule it with an iron fist because that
Hmm.
was the only way he could control it. And by attacking it, all that did was just, it was like a ant mound, just causing chaos, just making it worse. I think.
Well, and it was so odd because, and this is why my parents were freaking out,
Uh huh.
because like that summer they had after Iraq invaded Kuwait, they had that summit there. So like Gaddafi was in town, and all these Middle Eastern leaders were in Cairo at this summit, to talk about the invasion, and stuff like that. And so they were like thinking I was in danger, which I never was. I was fine.
Yeah.
But it was an interesting time, and I'm so glad, honestly, that I could say that I was part of that,
Wow.
because it's just kind of a cool story.
Yeah.
But what's
Yeah.
sad about it is I would have stayed there. I would have gone to get a master's degree in whatever at the American University of Cairo. If that wouldn't have happened, I definitely would have, because I loved it there.
Yeah.
And I loved Arabic. I love the people.
See, that's what would have
Oh,
caused peace is just more people circulating in to kind of break up the division, the conflict between the Sunnis and the Kurds and
mhm,
the divisions of their is just bring in
right.
more people from outside, like for the colleges, and to just kind of cultivate the place so that it didn't have all that fear that
Yeah.
led to the violence.
I I was never scared when I was there.
Huh.
Never. Now I would be more scared
Yeah,
now,
now
honestly. Yeah,
now they can't it's almost like unfixable and
right. Yeah.
it's really really messed up.
But it's kind of cool because there's the American University of Cairo, and then there's also like there's all these other American universities. Like I think there's one in Lebanon, there's one in I can't remember where all they are, but like
Mhm.
a lot of people don't even know about these. And it's like, if you're interested in Middle Eastern culture or whatever, that would be so
Great.
great for
Their
for somebody,
their
especially a young person. I'm too old
yeah,
now. I'm 52. I just turned 52.
their food is amazing.
But
I love the Mideastern food, from that all that
oh
area.
God, yes.
Did you
Yeah.
when you went to the pyramids, did it take, like, 2 hours from Cairo?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Because everybody says that like it's so
that's
far away, and
it
it
was a
wasn't at that
it
time
was
for
a
me. It was like
2 hour.
maybe
Yeah,
an hour. That's it. Maybe an hour.
wow.
And I could definitely see the pyramids from the city. And so like when people talk about how like it was so far away from Cairo and stuff, I'm like, well, it wasn't that way for me in 1990, you know.
Huh. It
You
was
know,
the
but the
historic.
thing is everybody experiences different things. Been to Cairo. I mean,
Yeah,
I have been there. You know what I'm saying? And so like for
right.
them to say that,
Huh,
I can accept what you're saying if you have actually been there, but I have been there, and
yeah.
I'm telling you, it wasn't like that when I was there. It was like maybe just an hour away, and that was it.
It was an
You know.
hour, and you were on
Hmm.
a horse. Wow.
Yes. Yes, I went horseback riding at the foot of the pyramids. Yes.
What was it really, super hot?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it felt
But
like
it's a dry
100.
heat though. I mean,
Yeah.
like, because I lived in Alabama, and
Oh,
Alabama
okay.
sucks because it's like a humid heat, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And so for like, yeah, it was hot in Cairo and stuff,
yeah,
but it was a dry heat, you know what I mean?
yeah.
It's different than a humid
Humid.
heat. I'd rather be in Cairo any day than Alabama,
Interesting, okay.
you know?
Wow. Huh.
But
Wow, that's
yeah, but
great.
it's just weird because like I'm not doubting necessarily people who say that the pyramids were like further away if they've been there. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? But if they've
I
not been
wouldn't.
there and they're saying that,
It
then
was just always
I
like, the room the what I understood is that it was a 2-hour camel ride from Cairo to the pyramids.
no,
That's that's what I have
no,
heard. No, okay.
no, not for me
Oh,
anyway. I mean, it
okay.
was. I mean, for one, I took a taxi,
Oh,
and then
okay.
and
So you
then
took a taxi to where the horses were?
yeah, and then
Oh.
also there's like a golf course there and stuff like that. I
What?
mean, yeah.
Golf course? No. Doesn't make
Yeah,
sense.
there's a golf course there. Yep.
No.
Yeah, there is. Look it
Oh my
up. I mean,
god.
that's even standard to this day. But even when I was there, there was a golf course there. But
I've
yeah,
never
it's
heard that.
just
It seems out of place. Like, it would seems like it wouldn't be fun to play golf in the desert. But it isn't a desert so much now, it's because Cairo expanded. Rain? I think her, Wi-Fi went out.
I'm sorry. Like I said, my internet goes in and out. So, but anyway,
Oh,
what
you're
I was
back.
talking
Okay.
about was,
It's
yeah.
fragmenting.
Sorry about that.
Okay. Your
but
voice is still going off and on.
but anyway, no. What I'm saying, I, I can accept what people say. I've actually been there. A lot of people
Yeah.
have not even been.
Well, the thing is, I mean, do you think that there are
If they haven't been
different
there, then I
do you
don't
think there's
really feel like they have a say in it. You know what I mean? Because I have been there.
uh,
And
well,
so,
that
like,
brings up
but if they
the
say that it's like was 2 or 3 hours away for them, and they've actually been
uh-huh.
there, then I can accept that. Just as a different reality, just
Well,
like the Chick-fil-A thing. You know what I mean?
that's what I was gonna say. I think there really is different versions, and so
Yeah.
like when Stasha was saying about Sweden, for her it was always that way, and so I must have been in a parallel version where Sweden wasn't there and wasn't shaped like that, which
hmm
just
Right.
makes all makes Earth seem like there's is it makes me wonder, is there an original version that all the others are based on, or are they all just simulated, or
I
is it
I
in our
honestly don't.
consciousness?
That is such a good question, and honestly, what is that we all experience different things. I mean, I don't think there is an original. At first, I did, you know.
Uh-huh.
At first, when the whole Mandela effect thing started, I
Yeah,
thought, there was only even two versions of,
yeah,
and
that's
that's
what I thought
it.
too. I thought there was like the original and the new version.
hmm Right. But now I don't think that anymore. I mean,
Now
I
it
think that
seems like there's at least 10 now.
there's many,
Or- Yeah.
there's many,
I don't
and
think I don't think it's like I don't think it's thousands. That's too mind-boggling. But there could be.
I don't know. I don't
I'd like
know.
to just maybe it's just what I would like to think is that there's just these this metamorphic version that we're in where it's depending on the individual, something internal is causing a perceptual distortion, or it could be a spiritual alignment, like depending on how your karma, so to speak, is, that causes you to be placed in the version you're in. It's one theory.
Do you still think about, because I know that we've talked about this before.
Uh-huh.
Do you still think that you may have died?
And not no, I think what happened was my spirit being transferred, because died I would have had a out of body experience, and I didn't. So it was a overnight. It was like while I was in the hospital, suddenly that's when it began. I was online with in bed in this hospital, and that's when I was looking at NDE phenomena, and then I came across this Mandela effect thing, someone's video. I'm not sure the first one, and that led to all the other ones. And I was just looking at it, and I had already seen some weird changes before I went into the hospital. So I'm thinking it must have been earlier in that February before I went in, and Oscar Mayer was the first product I remember seeing different. I was in the grocery and I saw it, the spelling. I was like,
hmm
that doesn't look right.
Right.
And then when I saw China, the somebody posted an early geographic change Mandela effect, or early to me anyway, and it was China and Japan, and that was what really shook me. It was the first thing I saw, and then South America.
South America was huge for me. I mean, when I saw it
Yeah,
being like translated, and the
yeah,
Panama
right.
Canal,
It looked, yeah, didn't it look wrong immediately? Like
yes,
right when you saw it, you knew
yes,
like that wasn't the same.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when I saw that, and see, I saw that and the JFK stuff at the same time. See,
Hmm.
I mean, I saw stuff in the 80s, but I didn't pinpoint it to the Mandela effect because I mean, there was no internet, there was no,
Yeah.
nothing to compare it to or whatever. But the things that I saw when
Yeah.
the first thing was Noxzema for me, and nobody talks about this
Noxzema.
one, but it had it.
I don't remember the Z. I For me it was just NOXE, and but I wasn't familiar with it. I didn't see it very much, so I could be wrong on that one.
Hmm. Well, but see, that's interesting because that was the flip flop part for me
Yeah,
because it was a Z,
it
and then it
was.
didn't have the Z,
Yeah. And it went
and
back.
then now it has the Z again. And so like when I saw that flip flop,
Hmm.
I knew that is not possible. That is not possible for that to happen. And so that's when I was just like, oh my God, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
And that's when I saw the JFK in the middle seat, and I'm like, what the hell is that? I've never seen that middle seat before.
Wow.
And then I saw South America moving, and I was just like,
Hmm.
my stomach dropped. I was
Yeah.
just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
It was just craziness to me.
When I
Everything.
when I was released from I was in the hospital for 5 days, and I met with my sister, and right away she looked different. She looked like she gained, I don't know, 50 pounds. And I had just seen her before I went in, and she couldn't have gained that much weight in that amount of
Hmm.
time. So I thought,
Right.
so that was a freak out. But I don't think I can't, who knows, but I don't think I did die. Do you think that you might have died?
Well, yeah, because
Yeah.
okay, the reason that I say this is and it may not be this. It may just be like you've shocked yourself into such a different reality that
Huh.
you're seeing stuff. But the
Mm,
reason I say that I think I may have died is because I did try to commit suicide when I was 14 years old. That's when I started seeing effects. I
uh-huh.
saw John Deere first. I saw Rod
Mhm.
Sterling go to Sterling. I saw Christopher Reeves go to Reeves. Sally Fields go to Field. Revelations go
Mm,
to Revelation, McDonald's go to McDonald's.
mm,
I saw all those, in the 80s.
mhm,
And Charles Schultz with a T go to without a T. And I remember I was sitting
mm.
at my breakfast table with my mom, and I was like, Mom, his name had a T in it. And she's like, No, it's always been like that.
Huh.
And I'm like, No, it hasn't. you
Mm,
know, and so that's kind of why I think that. And then also it's not just because of that. There's
yeah.
actually three distinct periods for me. One
Mm,
is that 1982 to 86 time frame when I was
uh-huh.
basically in high school.
Yeah.
One is around 1998 when I saw Nelson Mandela become president of South Africa. I stood
Hmm.
up. I saw it on the news and I stood up and I'm like, he died. What the
Wow.
hell? He
Mhm.
died. And so I saw several, I'm trying to think, and I have like a list, and I'm gonna go through all these and say
Yeah.
like when exactly saw all these Mandela effects. But
Mhm.
so 98 was a huge one for me as far as like, and there's some other ones in 98, that time frame, but I have to look at my list to find out. And
What
then I saw um
Yeah.
I was going down the
What about
highway.
blue
I
screen?
was
Did blue screen change to green screen for you? You know, did you ever take film classes?
It was always green screen for me.
What?
Yeah.
You, like even in the 2000, like from
Yeah.
2000 to 2009?
Yeah. It was
Oh,
always green
no,
screen.
for me it was always blue screen. There was no such thing as green screen. And then in 2009, first time I saw green screen, my friend Robert, who's a filmmaker, he he had a green screen studio, and I said, "Oh, greens, this is new." And he said, "What do you," and he said, "No, it was always green screen." And for me, it was always blue screen. So that,
That's that's
uh,
crazy. I
yeah,
love hearing these stories though
yeah.
because
So that was, and
it's
that was way before I heard of any Mandela
hmm
effects.
yeah. Well, okay, so
Yeah,
I saw some in the 1998, beginning with the whole Nelson Mandela, and also like Billy Graham died for me 3 times. So,
yeah. I remember
um,
him dying in like 1999.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
same time frame. And
yeah.
then
Wow.
the next time frame for me, and this is really cool because I moved to Colorado in January of 2016. So I have
Mm,
markers, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
like I know that I saw these things in 2014 or 2015. Well, which I know the stoplights switched. They went
Uh-huh.
upside down. Either in 2014 or 2000. I can pinpoint it to these 2 years. I don't know exactly, but 2014, 2015, the stoplights
Hmm.
flipped upside down, and then
That
also
one I'm not sure. I don't. I just don't remember. It's hard to.
Lazy Boy
I could see it
changed
either.
for
I
me
could
during that
either
time.
way. Yeah. Yeah.
Lazy Boy changed for me. JC Penney changed for me. Trying to
Hmm.
think of what else. But these were
Yeah.
all
I don't remember
2014,
LA.
2015.
It was. It was just like normally it's LAZY for me. That's how I remember seeing it. And now it's like LA-Z. It just looks wrong. That's
Right.
not how I remember.
Yeah. Lazy Boy is weird. JC Penney was one
Yeah.
that changed in that time frame. The
Uh-huh.
stoplights. I remember I was in my car and I was going down the
Yeah.
road and I was like, how stoplights to go upside down?
Wow.
No, I mean that's what I was thinking. I was like, how did that so fast? They change all these
Wow.
stoplights in one night, you know? And
Mhm.
so like green was definitely on top for me always. And then in 2014 or 2015 it changed.
Mhm.
That's a definite one. And whenever I love Vanessa VA's channel because that's her
Yes.
icon is the green
She
on top look.
In
And
fact,
I'm
I think
and every
it might.
time I see that, it
Yeah,
makes me feel so when I
I
see that
know.
green on top.
That's one of my, on my list. I wanna go through, and I've seen them before, but I wanna go from the start through all her episodes because those are so good.
Oh, they are. She does a great job,
Yeah.
and she brings on these people who are just like freaking out, and
Yeah.
it's really cool because even
She
though
finds
you don't want people to freak out, but it's just
Yeah.
really cool that she brings
She
attention to
she
it.
finds
You know what I mean?
a lot of the lesser known channel, like people that I
Mhm.
haven't seen before, I find on her
Mhm.
channel.
Yeah. Yeah. And then just even when I just see that icon, I just like it just I don't know. It's like that green on top just makes me feel so
But
comfortable or
yeah.
so
Yeah, I know. Whenever I find people that are seeing, especially the less common ones like doorway or any of the weird
mm,
changes that I'm seeing that nobody else seems to be agreeing with,
mhm.
then
Yeah,
yeah, I know what you mean. You just feel glad that you're not alone on that. On that.
right. Well, I'll tell you, one of the first videos I did, and nobody knows about this one because it's a local one.
Oh, what
But
is it?
I live Donald Avenue, and Michael Donald is like, it's called the last lynching in America. He was actually
Uh-huh.
hanged. He was hanged in Mobile, Alabama, but I lived on that
Oh,
street,
yeah.
and it was spelled when I lived there
Hmm.
Micheal, which is really
Wow.
the most common spelling of Michael. Okay. And so,
Right.
and I remember thinking to myself, if I get my mail and somebody spells it, I still get my mail. You know what I mean? I remember
Uh-huh.
thinking that on Avenue, and it was Eal. Well, right I left
Wow.
Mobile, to Ael. Like, which is the normal spelling of Michael. And I was like,
Mhm.
I was like, how did this sign change? I mean, it was actually like maybe the third or fourth video I did, or maybe the second, I don't know. But it's craziness to me because I was like, I lived on that street. I lived on that street, and it was spelled Eal. Remember, it's kind of like the Chick-fil-A thing. I hated that spelling because I was like, Chick-fil-A, and then Michael with the Eal. I mean, that's not normal. And then all of a sudden it became Ael. And I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. I was just like, I don't know. It floored me because that happened
Yeah.
right before I moved as well. And it was just so crazy to me that I lived on that street and that street
Hmm.
changed, you know?
That's like Guy Fawkes' experience with the hardware store that was like
Yes.
miles away from where it was, and suddenly he found it like in this whole new area.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
and
You saw that?
I mean, yes. Well, I
Yeah.
love Guy Fawkes. He is
Yeah.
actually he was the first one to interview me. I
He
have an hour and a half
yeah, he was one of
interview with Guy Fawkes.
one of the early ones, yeah.
But what I'm saying is, yeah, I mean, for him, change like that, like this store just like pop up into somewhere totally different in existence. I mean, and I
Yeah.
totally believe him. I
Yeah.
trust him completely. I
I
know that
I've
he
experienced
experienced that.
yeah, I had a building change experience too, and 2017 within between April and September of that year, a building that was never there, and there was no construction site on a street, East Washington Street, that I travel every day, suddenly appeared. And by September, I was meaning to go over there and explore the building, but I'm usually just always on my way to work or something, and it was gone in September, and I was writing a journal about it, that I was intending to go over there, and then when I finally wanted to go over there, it was totally gone, and now there's just like a parking space and some trees.
Hmm.
It just never existed.
It's
It's
just
like an eight story,
crazy.
like this huge new 8-story building with these silver antenna type things on the top. Very weird.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Therion, I put the link in the
Hey,
chat if
Therion.
you want to join. I love Therion.
Ah, cool.
But yeah, go ahead and join us if you want, Therian. That'd be great. But yeah, I know it's just like, now I haven't seen anything like that. That's weird with
Yeah, that was
you and
intense,
Guy
and that
Fawkes
hasn't.
seeing that.
Yeah, and I mean, because it was in such a short amount of time, in those 5 months or so, for it to, it's there, and I'm driving past it, and it's like, God, that is so weird. Every time I drove past it, and then it's gone, and that's just unthinkable. That never happens. So I must have
It,
shifted right then on that day. I must have been suddenly in a different parallel.
so now let me pick your brain about this stuff. Do you
Sure.
think that we are like there's one reality that's changing, or do you think we are moving? Do you think we are moving?
I I would it makes more sense if we were in a reality that's changing rather than shifting in different parts of the universe. But with this Mandela effect, I just want to keep all possibilities because I really don't know. It just seems more like we're in the same world that's changing, but with the way consciousness, like in the very first shift, the way that was so sudden, without no, without any, like I didn't have any out of body experience, or I don't remember traveling through space or anything like that. So it could actually be many different versions. Or somebody was saying the other day that it's inside, that they think it's all happening in a spirit level inside rather than an external thing that we're seeing outside of us. It isn't that our mind is fooling us, it's just that all the traveling happens inside. Does that make sense? Like in a
Yeah, I just don't know what I believe, I guess. I mean,
no.
it's so hard because like there's so many possibilities and I don't leave anything off the table either, I mean,
Yeah.
I think it could be one reality. I think that's changing. I think it could be like we're translating to like different multiple universe. I mean, well, how do
Mhm.
you explain, for instance,
Yeah.
the body changes? Because I've had
Right.
scars disappear and reappear. So how do you explain that?
Yeah.
You know? I mean, to me that lends the fact that I think it probably maybe we are going to different realities because
Mhm.
I had a scar on on my left arm,
Yeah.
and it's gone in and out. Like I've seen it, and then
Mhm.
you know, and then I've also had like other weird things too, like um for instance, I cry when it's cold outside, you know? I mean, I
Mm.
don't mean to do it, but like if I'm walking to work or whatever,
Uh-huh.
and like I'll just my and then also not only that, my tear ducts are weird because
Hmm.
that's one thing that I've noticed changing because like when blow my nose and stuff, my I can
Mhm.
there's air that puffs out of my tear ducts. It's
Weird.
weird. It's weird. And
Air?
so, and that never used to happen to me before. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've never heard of
So,
that.
yeah,
Air?
it's like there's like these little puffs of air that come out of my tear ducts when I blow my
Oh.
nose. It's weird. And then I also
Hmm.
cry when it's cold out,
Well,
you know?
why aren't the changes more drastic and obvious? I mean, it seems like except for the extreme cases like the China and South America, but why isn't there just really obvious changes? Is that because, something to do with whatever's causing it is just only only has so much. Doesn't it seem really subtle to you?
It's almost like it's toying with
Like
us.
we don't suddenly have, orange people among, something extreme like
That's what I
that.
mean. It's like they're toying with us a little bit,
Yeah,
you know?
it's almost like a weird,
Um,
like a subtle tease of. eh,
mhm.
yeah, I know what you mean. Like so that it could be easily considered delusional. So it's just enough of a change that it isn't obvious to everyone.
Well, and that's I mean,
But there's
you know,
many that are obvious to us, but
right.
like then you have like JFK to me was an obvious one. But then there's
Yes,
these
and
subtle
huge.
ones that
That's a huge one.
so many subtle ones like the logo changes. When I showed my brother the Ford logo, He saw no change at all. I said, "What? Look, we saw this all our life. Every time we ever drove on the road, that loop
Hmm.
was never there. It's just that how could anyone not see that unless
Yeah. I mean,
they're
that
always
that
here?
that little curly Q was never there.
No.
I did a video on where this barber shop or whatever had the Ford F,
Yeah.
and I was like, this is the way I remember it exactly, and
Yeah.
that curly Q was never there. I mean, and then even just like the Chevy changes, I mean the
Mhm.
Chevy, there. I don't know. I
I
just
haven't noticed that one.
well, for me
Mm.
the um
Was it
Chevy's
more?
changed the symbol. The
Yeah, it was
symbol.
more straight up and down or something.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Now it's more slanted.
right. And
Okay.
then there's just I don't know. It's just so hard to even talk to people about this. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously not to you. I mean, you get me. We
Yeah.
get each other.
Yeah.
We get each other. But it's just like when you talk to anybody in your family or
Mm.
anything about, well, actually, like in my family, I do have one person that I can talk to. It's actually my brother-in-law, and he uh, he
Is he really academic? The people that are hardest to talk about are the ones who really cling to reality as being, factual, like the academic. Those are the hard, like the more cerebral, seem to be be able to understand. Like I can talk to them about it, but those who are just
right.
super,
Well, that's how he is. I mean,
yeah,
he sees auras. He's
yeah,
seen my auras. He's seen, whatever. But he and my sister will not talk to me about the Mandela effect at all.
same, yeah,
But
mine either.
she's seen it. But
Oh,
she's seen it
oh,
because this is what happened to them one time. They were at a dinner party with their brother-in-law. It wasn't my brother-in-law, but even though my brother-in-law is who I'm talking about, but
yeah,
it was their brother-in-law. Um, but anyway, they were at this party and he played the trumpet,
uh-huh,
at this dinner party.
hmm,
And then like later on, they're like, why don't you play the trumpet? This guy's the brother-in-law, his name's Jake. Jake, why
hmm.
don't you play the trumpet? And he's like, what are you talking about? I don't play the
Oh,
trumpet.
I heard about this one. I heard about this.
Yeah,
That's weird.
yeah. And so they heard him play the trumpet at this one dinner party, and then like later on, he's like, I don't play the trumpet,
Wow.
and
But
it's just
can you
crazy.
imagine? Oh, that would be weird if I met someone like that who I knew always, like they were a master mechanic or whatever, and then suddenly they said,
Mm-hmm.
"What are you talking about?"
Mm-hmm.
It's weird.
I mean, it was crazy, and he and my sister both witnessed that, but my sister will not talk. She refuses to talk to me about the Mandela effect,
Uh-huh.
even though she saw that as well. I mean, my brother, and
Yeah.
then Jonathan,
Oh,
he's like,
Therion's in
oh,
backstage.
yep, awesome. Hey,
Yay!
Therion,
Hey, Therion.
Hi.
how are you guys?
What's
How are you
up?
doing?
Okay, at the moment.
I'm so
Great.
sorry. I don't know how long you were waiting. I'm sorry I didn't see that. I was just like going on and on with prelim.
Hi, Digital.
Oh, is Digi here
Yeah.
too? Digi,
Merry Christmas.
I don't see you, Digi.
He's
Come
in
in
the
the
chat.
shot.
He's in the chat.
Okay, well, Digi, come in live if you want. Well, anyway, Therian,
Yeah. Good to see you.
what's up as far as Christmas? What are you gonna do for Christmas?
Get drunk, eat a roast dinner, and get drunk even more and try to sleep the rest of the way through it.
What city are you in, Therion?
Sheffield.
Ah, Sheffield. Wow.
Yeah, I'm hoping it'll flood again for Christmas.
Oh, you had a flood last year?
No, it's had a flood this year, but I'm hoping it'll flood again and then freeze over just in time for Christmas.
Do you live near a Tesco?
Yeah.
I've heard about them.
Yeah, this time of year, they're like a nightmare.
Wow.
You see people going in the shops and they don't even act like people anymore.
Huh.
They're so obsessed with fighting over the same stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's like one of the worst things about this year, with the amount of commercial propaganda they push at people.
Uh-huh.
So Therion, tell us what do the English do during Christmas that maybe us Americans don't do or whatever. It's Christmas Eve. Do you celebrate, like, for instance, for me, I was telling people earlier that my family opens up like presents on Christmas Eve and then we save day. What do you do in England?
I've never been like a big Christmas follower. But from what I've noticed, it's like the differences like between the UK and America at Christmas. It's like, first of all, the UK doesn't have eggnog. So it's
I love
like
eggnog.
the drink of preference is usually like a beer.
Do you have any special import or English beer over there that's big?
There's a few, but it's like mainly it's people are just drinking whatever's alcohol to get as drunk as possible.
Yeah. Have you ever had DAB, DAB beer?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like dabbing with
No,
Mary Jane.
no, it's just,
I've done that before, but it's been a
called
while.
DAB.
Yeah, I've done that.
It's a German beer. It's pretty good. I haven't been drinking this year.
So, Therion, when are you going to come to Colorado?
Mainly after I've got passport and ID.
When is that going to be?
Probably about 6 months after I've got the passport and the ID.
Okay, cool.
Because I found out I've got to wait 6 months before I can travel from UK to US.
Mm-hmm.
That's how long the passport's got to be valid for before you can use it for entering US.
Huh.
Well, I am so excited to see you.
Yeah, it's good to hear from you. Digi, are you coming on?
I've got planning. It's like Colorado seems the best place to land, just because it's a 420 state.
Well, I mean, everything's legal here, but I mean, I don't even know when the last time I even did some weed. Probably like 6 months ago or something like that. Even though it's legal here and I can do it whenever I want, it's not like I really I'm not saying, I mean, I like weed. I mean, I do it, but it's not like a high priority for me.
It's been
It's to me same with alcohol when it comes to flying. Just think all the Mandela effects and changes that have occurred over the last few years just on the engines of planes alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, do you want to be sitting on one of them in the sky as all that stuff's going on?
Especially if your plane freezes in midair. The wingtips for me, there were no bent up wingtips like there are now. That's a Mandela.
So,
So I'm thinking it's like
If I was in,
as soon as I get off the plane,
yeah,
get back and enjoy being safe on land as much as possible.
yeah, and go to the hemp store or the ganja store and get some Colombian. If I was in Colorado, because it's been so long for me, I quit smoking pot in 1992, but I would love to experience Colombian gold again. I haven't seen that around for a long time.
Come and visit me, and we'll
Oh,
go grocery.
okay, all right.
It's so funny because I actually took my
Prelim,
youngest
when
son.
I'm over there in the States,
Yeah,
we all need to get together and have like a 420 style Mandela effect conference.
Oh,
No
my
kidding.
But one with a bit more style than the ones that have already been done.
No, that would be ideal state for it too, Rain. I think you should have one there and try to organize one with other people's help.
Yeah, well, there's and plus
Yeah,
there's
it's like think about it.
Suso,
It's like
algorithm, Suso algorithm,
yeah,
and then me.
Yeah, I didn't know Algo was
that would be awesome
in there too. Wow.
Plus, one thing is what will make it different than the other Mandela Effect conferences.
Yeah.
We'll have like more people like there, what are like from other countries. So also be like the International Mandela Effect World Conference.
Yeah, and there is a lot from England. I haven't heard like people from Japan or we have people from Australia, but not a lot. There's a lot of countries you don't really hear that much from. A few from Russia, and I don't hear any from France. Do you know anybody from France that's Mandela?
Yeah.
I haven't met any.
The thing is with France at the moment, they're being silenced on more than just levels of talking about Mandela effects.
Really?
It's like they've still got the yellow vest protests going on in France.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's near enough been going on for like a year now.
It's pretty chaotic in the streets.
Yeah, and it's remember how at first it's like the media were covering it,
and
then it's like they just stopped. Yeah, those protests didn't go away; they're still going on. The thing is, they're now more brutal and violent than they were at the beginning.
Wow.
Oh goodness, I think Digi is backstage, but I'm trying to get to it. I
think I'm going to make some coffee. I'm going to go off for a couple minutes. I'll be right back.
Cool.
Digi, are you there? Who's all here?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Damn it. I thought I got Digi on here, but maybe not. Damn it. I'm trying, Digi. Oh, it's so frustrating. Okay, so tell me what you guys are doing for Christmas. I'm gonna try to get Digi on here. I don't know what the hell is going on and why. I can't get him on here. I'm trying. Digi, I'm trying.
I'm thinking of having like a roast turkey dinner for Christmas because I've not done that in ages. Gone and bought all the stuff.
Yeah,
It's just now that's left to do is cook it.
So tell me what you're cooking for Christmas, Therion.
I'm thinking roast turkey, stuffing, some Yorkshire puddings, some like roast potatoes.
That sounds good.
I was reading about purple yams or purple sweet potatoes, that they are super healthy, and you have to see the article. I can't remember why they're so good. Ditchy is backstage.
I know. I'm trying.
He changed his name to.
I don't know what the fuck. I
Yeah.
don't know what the hell is going on. I'm trying to get him in here.
Maybe if he restarts his side, it'll get through.
Yeah, it's if he's trying to enter off a phone, you can have problems like that. But if you reset the phone, it will like work normal. So you got any plans for Christmas preliminal?
What am I doing for Christmas? I'm just gonna go see my sister and brother and their siblings, and my parents, and so one of our cousins is in town. They asked me, and I said I didn't want any. I don't really want any presents this year, so I'm good with that. And I'm just making some paintings for them, abstract, with mainly just abstract color, acrylic. What about you? What's happening? Oh yeah, you're gonna get some beer and
Yeah,
go.
I've got that already.
Oh, got that already.
Yeah, I did that yesterday before the shops got too bad.
Oh yeah. What is
Okay.
like Tesco more than a laundromat, or is it just?
Yeah.
What does it have?
Tesco's. It's like a supermarket chain.
Oh, it's a supermarket. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, they own a few laundromats. They own like some petrol stations as well.
Wow.
They also like deliver food straight to your door. You know, like your shopping.
If I was in
Got that set
England,
up as well.
I think
Yeah,
I would.
it's like
I would work there if I was in England.
yeah, they've got some 24-hour stores as well around the place.
Uh-huh.
And you can literally either go there, get your shopping, or you can like go online, get it ordered, and have it delivered.
Didn't they start out in the 70s? What were they, just laundromat, and then they expanded into all the? Oh,
it originally used to just be food, you know, like shopping.
Okay. There's this band that they have a book out. It's a English band from the 70s, the Throbbing Gristle, and they have some stories about their local Tesco. They're more of an experimental, avant-garde kind of band. You might have heard of them.
So
you remember them?
With Tesco's, I've heard of them.
Oh, okay.
But it's like with Tesco's the way they are now.
Yeah.
It's rare that you see the laundromat sides anymore.
Huh. I thought that was. It's fun. This is new. This is kind of a Mandela effect for me, because I thought they were just laundromats.
I remember they used to have a load of laundromats, but around 2010 they started vanishing, like cutting down the numbers.
Wow.
Because like when I was at college, it's like the laundromat I was using used to be a Tesco one.
Yeah. Huh. Well, I don't see Digi anywhere.
2010's like the last time I went looking for a laundromat, because that's the last time I did a washing machine.
Yeah, a lot of buildings have them built in now. Like
you don't get that many laundromats, like public ones in the UK.
Yeah.
Because everyone's got their own machine, so it's sort of going like a thing of the way of the past.
I see. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I mean, it's such a drag when you have to sit in a laundromat. It's like, usually you just like put your laundry in and go home for a while and then come back. When they have
it worse, so when it's like the nearest laundromat you find out is like 15-20 miles away from you.
Oh.
And you're in the middle of like town as it is already.
Yeah. I'm in a
town centres, that's the ideal place for laundromats, isn't it?
Yeah, or college towns, because a lot of students, you'll see a lot, like where I'm at, they still have laundromats all over the place. A lot of older. Well, I don't see him, Rain. So what's going on over there?
I don't know. I hope he's still here, but I don't know if he's going to be able to come in or not. I was trying to get him in, and then also, is he backstage?
No.
I can't see him.
No, I think he was just stopping in.
Damn it. Well, anyway, Digi knows I love him. I'm sorry. I really wanted to get him to get on here with us. If you're listening, Digi, come back.
When you hear from Digi, tell him that we got to organize a Colorado conference.
Yeah.
Well, he says at least play with the idea, not as a done thing.
Well, he says he's gonna come and see me and Suso and Algo. Algorithm is also in Colorado. And then also I know he wants to see people in Texas, he wants to see Chloe Honeyman and Jeff and all that. And then of course Michael must go in Indiana, but whatever. But anyway,
I've always wanted to go to Colorado since the 80s because my friend Teresa
come and visit me.
She lives in Boulder, and so I could stop and visit them, and then I could stop over there. So it would be great,
Yeah, Boulder is about 3 or 4 hours away from here. But yeah, I love Boulder though. Boulder's nice. I could go and see you.
Well, I would take
my sister lives in Fort Collins, but
I don't think I'd want to.
Which isn't hard.
I'd rather just take a bus so I can relax and not have to worry about directions and traffic and all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I could make like stop at Boulder and then maybe stop over. What's the closest? Like, are you close to Denver? Or like, oh no,
not at all.
No,
no, no. I'm clear on the western side of the state. Yeah. I'm like maybe 3 hours from Denver.
Wow.
But yeah, it sucks.
Seems like the last most ideal place left in America, because California just seems to have sadly demised. But Colorado, I think, is still a very cool place.
Well, it is, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's my home state. Yeah, that's where I grew up. Even though I haven't been here my whole life, I spent 20 years in the South. But yeah, Colorado is my home state. That's where I grew up. Was where I went to college.
Wow.
And then I just came back, like I said, in 2016 or whatever. I
think Texas is still really nice too. Like I could see living in San Antonio or around there.
San Antonio is awesome. I've been in San Antonio and it's awesome. The river
Yeah, I bet.
and San Antonio, really nice town.
I think I could live there. Yeah, or retire there. I'm kind of hitting the point where it's like, well, I gotta, you know, it's not like I'm in my 20s anymore, so I gotta have to stabilize whatever I decide to do.
Yeah.
And, it's kind of, and I still feel young. I mean, as long as I keep in shape, then I have energy. You hit a point where you can't, live the same life as you will always were, because it affects
Well, I'm
you.
not in shape at all.
No,
But I still
I
feel
have. I
it's
don't.
funny
But don't
because
you feel like you have no
it's
choice?
funny.
Like it's like because of like work and everything. Like you have to be. Like for me, it's not really a choice. Otherwise I
Well,
just.
for me, it's like I don't feel in shape at all. But what's funny is that, like, when I was 5 years old, I felt like I was 50 years old. And now that I'm 52, I feel like I'm 5 years old. I mean, it's like I'm like reverting back in time. I'm kind of like a silly teenager. Even though I'm 52 years
Mhm.
old, I feel like I'm like a silly teenager. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I'm 15 or something.
I relate.
And
Yeah, I think about that time period and the simplicity. Like that's where I go mentally when I want to just if I'm feeling really down, I kind of remember that state of mind, and then I find a lot of peace in the youthful state of mind.
yeah, I'm pretty silly. I mean, Uh,
Hmm.
for a 52-year-old, I'm pretty silly and I'm pretty, I don't know, just,
Well,
um,
it's part of set. You gotta keep some sense of humor, or you go nuts.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what's the
I
point in
mean,
being grown up if you can't be childish sometimes?
Yeah.
It's like, it defeats the
yeah,
purpose.
exactly. Thank you, Therion. Yep, yeah. Well, damn it, I really wish Digi was gonna come on because
Yeah, really was.
Digi's one of my
Maybe he might have
favorites.
started his own stream. I think I might go check that out.
Oh, did he?
I'm saying he might have. Maybe that's why he didn't come on, because he was starting one.
Well, I know he's
Yeah.
gonna have one tonight at 8 o'clock
Oh,
because
okay.
he set a reminder for that, and
Well,
so I'm definitely gonna be there for that. Um, well, I'm actually going out with a girlfriend tonight. We're gonna play some pool and
that sounds
have
fun.
ladies night. So I'm trying to think of. I don't know exactly when that's gonna be,
Um,
but
what we
but I do plan on being there for Digi's broadcast if I can,
in
for sure.
Wisconsin, we tend to be more into bowling. Like bowling is kind of big here.
I love bowling. I
I do
suck
too.
at it, but I love bowling.
We have like these classic, 1950s bowling alleys that just have all the aesthetic, style of it. Those are fun.
Mhm.
In Milwaukee,
Cool.
especially. Not as much in here in Madison, but more. I'm from Milwaukee, and over there, that's still really big over there. But not pool as much. Like people don't play pool as much here.
Mm.
No.
Oh, Digi, I'm so upset that because I saw you backstage and I tried to add you. I'm so upset because I don't want him to think that I'm dissing him because I'm not, and I want him to join. If you're listening, come back on, Digi. But anyway, no. So let's see. As far as Christmas goes, what do you guys think about, like, the whole idea that some people think that Jesus was born on 9/11?
Yeah, I think it
Have
makes
you?
more sense for it to be around that time of the year than Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got to remember, it's like with all the pagan stuff that's being thrown into Christmas, by like the Vatican trying to take over other religions. It's like when you look at Christmas and like where it's like connected to like Christ, you don't really see that much like of a common link there anymore.
Yeah, like I either think he was born on 9/11 or like some people think it was like in the spring, like in March. So I'm not really sure, but I definitely wasn't December 25th, even though like I like Christmas and I like the nostalgia of like family memories and stuff like that. I definitely don't think that Jesus was born on December 25th by any means.
Yeah, they took the Christmas angle, like December 25th.
Hey, a bit of Venom
And
is in the art. Maybe he could join if he wants. I think he's from Germany.
Oh yeah, whoever wants to join, that'd be great. I'll go ahead and put another link in the chat.
It's like what people right now celebrate is like December 25th. That would originally be like the pagan solstice, where they'd have the big winter festivals and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was like merged with like Christmas, along with a load of other small things, you know, to try and build Christianity in the way that the Vatican did it.
Yeah.
It's like when you start looking
I
into customs and everything, you know, just as like their own history. It's like where everything's come from, you know, like how it's got to the way it is now. Like the Christmas trees being in houses, that actually comes from like Germany.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you start getting a clearer picture.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think that, you know, Christmas is even though I just love the holiday anyway. Like, oh my gosh. What's it? This German wine or whatever.
Hacker's
I
Store.
can't think of it right now.
Mulled wine.
It's it's
like heated up.
Glühwein. But anyway, I love that, you know, Glühwein. Yeah, that's what it's called, Glühwein. But you know, I love just I don't know. There's a lot of German stuff with Christmas and all that, and it is a pagan holiday. It is, you know, but I still enjoy it. I don't know.
I heard the explanation of why.
Hi, Brian Stabley.
Of how it. Brian's in.
Yes, Glühwein. Brian, come and join us if you want. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. It is a pagan holiday, but I do like it. You know, I mean, I have like so many different family memories, like I was talking about, like, you know, how my family, I mean, we always open up all our presents on Christmas Eve. We have we go to the church service, and, you know, they have the, you know, potato soup and chili or whatever, and then we open up all our presents, and then we save one for Christmas Day. But I mean, it is a pagan holiday. I understand that, you know, but it is still kind of nice to have. I don't know. It's just good memories, you know, good family memories and stuff like that.
One of the things I find fun about over here, I don't know if you do it in the States, it's like roast chestnuts at Christmas.
Yeah, I've never had that necessarily. The roast chestnuts, no. No. they would, the song is, roast chestnuts roasting on an open fire, I mean, I know the song, but as far as like, I don't. Have you ever had roast chestnuts, Prelim? I have never had roast chestnuts that I know of.
Yeah, I think my grandma used to make them, and I didn't care for. I didn't. I mean, we didn't eat them. I don't know what was the purpose of that. They didn't seem edible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're only edible while they're hot.
What are they for?
You eat them.
You eat them?
Yeah, it's like when they're hot, and
Wow.
you take them off like the fire. You peel them out of the shells and they're all soft and they're all edible.
Oh.
But when they go cold, it's like they go all hard and rubbery.
Oh.
And you just eat them like a hot snack.
No, I never had that.
No, I haven't either.
Whiskey.
Yeah. The things I have at Christmas are like, just trying to think. Well, I mean, sometimes we have ham, sometimes we have goose, whatever. And then stuffing, of course, and then wine, of course, a German family. And then like as far as like desserts, it would be like peanut butter cookies with Hershey Kisses on top. I can't remember what those are called, but that's like a staple in my family for Christmas is those peanut butter cookies with the Hershey Kisses on top. And trying to think of what else.
We tend to make like turkey and stuffing, yams, and cranberry juice, and potatoes.
I know, I love cranberry. Oh. Yeah.
We're sort of Bavarian.
I love cranberry anything.
I never liked wine, but the rest of the family seems to like wine, so they have it.
I'm like the same. I can't stand wine. It's one drink I just don't like.
It just gives me a headache. I don't like how I feel after. I don't care for it. What do you recommend if you were going to get like really good wine? What would it be?
Well, for me, I love, and this thing that I didn't even know existed until I went to Argentina, is Malbec. It's a red wine from Argentina.
Okay.
Indigenous to Argentina, and it's really, really good, and it goes really well with turkey and stuff like that. I don't know about for ham meat necessarily. I mean, but for with turkey, it's really a good wine. Is Malbec, Malbec? Is how you spell that.
I'm gonna ask my sister about that.
And it's really good with turkey. Oh my god, it's so good.
Okay.
And it's it's from Argentina. And
Malbec.
I wouldn't have even known about it if I hadn't have gone to Argentina. I was in Argentina in 2008. And but I really love that wine. That's my like number one for like, especially with turkey. It's really good.
I have a really weird geographic change for Argentina and Venezuela. For me was right above Argentina, and now it's all the way up on the north coast. And I'm just checking if you happen to remember that, or if it was that way for you. Do you remember
I don't
Venezuela
remember that
being
particular.
down?
Remember that particular
Okay.
one, but I know that like also Colombia
That's a
one for
really
me
strange.
too.
That's one of the
But like
strangest.
Argentina, like
Yeah.
I've been always in the South. And I'll go ever to Brazil. I wanted to. But I do falls, which is confluence between Paraguay, Argentina, and Brazil, and it's like a waterfall. It's like, I mean, I have no desire to go to Niagara just because I've been to Iguazu, and Iguazu was awesome. But yeah, I mean, there's lots of South American countries that have like kind of moved around for me. You know, it is weird. It is strange. They, I don't know. Venezuela is one of them, and as well as Colombia, one that moved for me too.
Because years ago, when they were having all the riot, and it's still ongoing, but when there were
And then
tons
a
of
lot
people
of people,
fleeing from Venezuela, I remember looking at the map, and it was right above Argentina until a couple of years ago. Just suddenly, it's way up on the coast, and I haven't heard other people mention this change.
One thing I've noticed, when you try and talk to people, about the continent changes, the average people, they'll give the same two responses, which will be either misremembering or they'll come out with continental drift.
Yeah.
When they say the continental drift one, that's like the funniest one in my book, because it's like, it just opens them up for where I can prank them. Because I'll be like, yeah, explain continental drift. They'll start explaining it, and I'll let them go all the way through that. And I'll just be like, well, in that case, wouldn't the Eurotunnel have snapped then? If continental drift's supposed to, like, exist and tunnels between, like, places would be impossible. Like the UK and Europe. And you point that out to them and they go absolute mental. Just because the idea of it. It's like if continental drift was just like affecting a small percentage of like the planet, it would have a knock-on effect. It'd be like you wouldn't really be able to make like bridges or tunnels or anything, connecting places across water. It would all be like too unstable.
Yeah,
the change to Venezuela, yeah, that's a major change.
When I went to Bit of Venom says Paraguay and Uruguay top. However, like when I was in Argentina in 2008, like to the east of Argentina and also on the bottom of South America. I do remember Venezuela being in a totally different place than it is now. And so that is strange. But Uruguay was actually to the east of Argentina and on the bottom. Because one of the reasons I know that is because we were going to go there when I was in Argentina, and there was like these, I don't know, the ferries that went back and forth between way. There was some weird, exactly what happened. What happened? Like some kind of fog or something like that. I don't know. We couldn't go. to Uruguay because of like a fog or something. I can't remember exactly. But I mean, I wanted to go, but it was, it was on the, the south of South America and to the east of Argentina at that time. Yeah, Venezuela is weird. In Colombia as well. Venezuela and Colombia are very weird for me. They definitely switched places or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a load of places aren't in the right place at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
What is another word for karma? I always have difficulty with because it seems to suggest Hinduism, and I'm trying to think, is there a Christian term or a spiritual other term for karma? As to why we're here, maybe it has something. I don't like to use that word because
Payback?
there must be another word for it. I'll look it up.
Payback?
Yeah.
I don't.
Like spiritual.
Well,
some people say spiritual frequency, and that makes sense. Like your frequency is determined by your status of soul, so to speak. But it feels like there should be a word there. I'll have to invent a new word. I like frequency. I think that makes sense. It's just sort of just thinking about that. I think that has to do with where we are.
There's definitely is a frequency to each individual. I totally believe in that.
Yeah.
I just don't karma though.
Do you think that that's what determines a person's character, though? Somehow, like in their, I don't know. It just seems like everyone you've ever known seems like that's who they are, for their essence. Not the body, but I mean like their state of mind. Sometimes people are born sick, so they have no control over their. So it doesn't apply to everyone, but it just seems like the essence of a person is their spiritual frequency, and that we can alter that.
I guess I would.
Good or worse.
Right. I guess I would say that I don't believe in karma, but I believe in what you're saying about a person's frequency.
Yeah.
I do think that there is something to that, but I don't necessarily believe in the word karma or the idea of karma, I guess.
Yeah, because that seems like a vicious circle that you could never, like people that are karmically trapped because they, it's
our
like
frequency, yes.
I think
like karma's like a distraction when it comes to some aspects.
Yeah, it seems like that would be a hopeless like people would be stuck for eons if it was like that. And I think a lot of people need help to raise their frequency.
Yeah, it's like, I think it could be like a prison tool, karma, because like
yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, like
your soul leaves the body, you go to the light thing and say, yeah, you've got like so much karma debt from this life, you've got to go back and sort out.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah, that could be like a loophole trap. You'd be like, the only way around it, you'd have to be like, no, that's a loophole.
Yeah.
That life, that karma, yeah, that was all included. That was part of that experience. So there's no debt involved whatsoever, to get past it. Because you got to think on some levels, there's got to be like something that's keeping us trapped here.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely something keeping us trapped here. I mean,
Yeah.
but I don't know that it's our own fault or our own karma that's keeping us trapped. I think it's,
it's the demiurge.
something extraneous to that.
What do you think of the Gnostic demiurge belief? Do you think there's some truth to that?
You got to look at all beliefs, so it's like
I do.
You can find truth in all different paths.
Yeah. Yeah, like in Taoism, they say that humanity is like a circle of people, and each one holds a different twig of wisdom or truth. And it's not, and we're all kind of seeing from a different part of the circle, and that's why it's madness when people fight over who is holding what twig of truth, and their twig has more truth than the other twig.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really just
right, exactly.
Kind of like God has different purposes, different spiritual levels, and that make more sense if there was just no war. I wish people would stop. I wish humanity could rise above all the conflicts that are in history, that are still grudges and all the divisions. And
there's no reason for war whatsoever.
Yeah,
there's no reason for war. I mean,
countries could work it out.
It's insane. Yeah.
Yeah, they would never have to.
Look at the way I was into agreeing with war.
That's why.
I mean,
yeah.
I just remember crying as a little kid, whenever I would see like Holocaust videos or whatever. And I mean, I would cry my eyes out. My mom's like, why are you crying so hard? And I'm like, because they shouldn't have done that. They shouldn't have, why did they, hate each other so much? And why did they, I remember crying my eyes out as a little child, over all that stuff. I mean, there's no reason for war whatsoever in any case. I'm sorry, there isn't.
And there's a medieval attitude that shouldn't be in the modern world is sort of plagued by stuff that is ancient that seems to teach hate from childhood. So in some cases there are people that are just born holding this hatred and prejudice automatically, with I don't want to point fingers at any belief system, but I think that's kind of that's been a really difficult problem for. How do you like with all the jihad type of thing going on in France and wherever?
Definitely. It's just there's no justification in my mind for war ever. I mean, I'm just sorry. That's just how I feel, And I know, you guys, a lot of you feel the same way. I mean, but for me, it's just I don't understand it. I don't think there's any justification for war, and it's just. I don't know.
What if one?
It's hard.
If there's a group that's oppressive and going around killing, how do you uproot that?
Well, usually you don't use war for a start. You use a clean, like, military style operation. You do it surgically. You take out the problem, not like everything around it.
Yeah, because I think that's something that, sometimes when something is extreme, then you gotta do something.
Yeah, it's like if you look at the outcome of World War II and then you look back at what like all the armies had together fighting against the Nazis.
Yeah.
Yeah, that war, it could have been ended a lot quicker. And the way it would have been done, it's like instead of dropping 2 nukes on Japan in World War II, it should have been 1 nuke on Japan, because that would have dealt with that problem. The second nuke should have been aimed right on top of Berlin, you know, where Hitler was hiding out.
Yeah.
If that had been done, it would have like ended the war on that day, because it would have like shown Japan and Germany to stop fighting there and then.
Yeah,
You know,
I think
just
we only
because of the
needed one.
size and devastation.
I think that's
The
true.
point is,
one on Japan and one on Germany, one Berlin.
yeah, with Japan, they would have still carried on fighting. If it had just been 1 nuke, it had to be 2 for that to work. But where the second one was put, that changes the outcome entirely. That could have ended the war in one go. And you look at it, and it's like all those lives that were lost because that path hadn't been taken.
Yeah, I hear you.
Then you look at like the attitude of most of the people in charge of the military at the time. It was obvious they were more caring about bloodshed than they were about ending the war. They were just wanting to get like a higher scorecard.
It's crazy.
And it's like, look at the.
I don't think there should have been any nukes.
War.
I don't agree with that statement.
Well, it was. It was a new invention.
Yeah, it was a new invention, and it was used, and it stopped the war in some aspects because it showed them that there's like a point not to go past.
I don't think like, they really knew.
How many people
I don't would. I'm sorry. I think it was a mistake. I don't think that.
You still there? I can't hear you, Rain.
Rain? I think you should cut out.
Yeah, I think hers went out again.
Yeah, like I was saying though, with nuclear bombs, it's like if they never existed, people would have the fear of them, what they need to have of them, because they do exist. It's like, you know, that footage where you see the mushroom cloud and you see just how devastating they are. That's what wakes up a load of people, you know, to what they actually are.
Did you guys hear what I said at all? Because I know I cut out, but I don't agree with anything. I don't agree that we had to do the nukes. No way. I'm sorry. I don't agree with that, and I think that's why like I got cut off and dropped from the stream, because honestly, I mean, that really bothers me even to this day. I just don't think we had to do it. I don't think we should have done it. I think it was wrong. It was wrong in my mind.
It's already, it's like ancient history now.
It is, but I mean, I'm still
so far away, but yet it was only 70 years ago, 75 years ago.
Oh my God, was it that long ago? Shit, I'm old.
God, I remember 1979 like it was yesterday. It was in study hall.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Art class.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, my God, it was that long ago. Shit.
I know.
Because you're not that much older than me. You're just maybe 3 years, maybe.
Class of 8. Yeah, class of 82.
And I was 86, so
okay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it was just so, and Therion's the young one in the bunch.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think Therion's like even younger than some of my sons. I don't know.
Therion's like 30 or so.
How old are you, Therion?
32. Like 32.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my my sons are going to be, one's going to be 25 next week, or actually in a couple days, the day after Christmas. And then my other one will be 27. But yeah, I just I keep thinking about all you young people out there. And I'm like, oh my God, they're like my son's ages, it's weird. But anyway, I don't feel that old. I just don't feel that old, but I guess I am.
Bit of Venom brought up something that, like, World War II had China in it, but I don't remember them really being involved in it. Do you?
Yeah, they were.
I don't.
They were
No.
involved, but they weren't like doing any fighting or anything like that.
Uh-huh.
They were mainly like just providing stuff.
Oh, okay.
To whom though?
And you got
who are they providing stuff to?
I'll give you a hint. It wasn't the good guys.
Oh.
Okay.
It's like one of the things. It's like I find this when I do bar work or when I'm out drinking. You always get people, with like the new political correctness thing. It's like on the topic of World War II. Yeah, you got to remember the whole world was fighting. So yeah, you had Christians fighting in World War II, you had Muslims fighting in World War II, you even had Jews fighting in World War II.
Yeah.
Everyone was fighting in World War II.
Crazy.
Yeah, you got to remember it's like even the Germans were fighting in World War II. But not all of them were on the right side. I
don't picture them in uniform or on the, or their planes or any, they just seem like they kind of ducked, like they were sort of neutral, stayed out of it. I'm just saying, it's just based on, I didn't study that part of it.
I didn't either. I didn't know China was a part of anything in World War II. That's amazing. Yeah. I'll have to study that.
I'd be surprised if they were, because I just don't remember that.
Yeah.
Or
hey guys, I'll be right.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. Okay.
Okay.
Just give me 2 minutes, and I'll be right back.
Yeah. It's like one of the things I found most eye-opening, with World War II and history. It was looking at in the insanity of Hitler, he was trying to make that super soldier race of like blonde-haired, blue-eyed people. And he was going on for that type of perfection all the time, even though he didn't even look like anything like that. And then it's like the allies he was picking. Because it was showing like pictures of him with like the Muslim Grand Mufti sitting there, and it's like he's like getting Muslims to join his troops, even though he's been brainwashing his troops with like racism and white supremacy. It just doesn't really make sense, does it?
No. Bidev was just saying how Japan and China were never so close together, and I agree. And the world I was in, Japan was way more east, and because like on the side of the Pacific Ocean, on that half of the globe, you would see Japan in the upper, in the upper part, and you would see Australia way down in the lower part. So both.
Yeah, it was like there was a really Japan, good amount of distance.
Right, something happened with the Pacific because Australia was way more east, and so was Japan, and now they're not even on that side of the globe.
Okay, so I heard you guys talking a little bit about Japan.
Yeah.
So Japan is effed up, right?
Yeah.
I mean, does not even look anything like it used to.
The lower half is all crumbly. It's got these expanded rivers, and it's just not the same shape. You all remember what Japan looked like. It
looks small as well.
It's just totally changed.
It looks tiny.
It's all like a lot of different places are just so much more raggedy than they were, and Japan is one of those places where it's just like real, like exactly what you were saying, Prelim. It's crumbly, raggedy, whatever.
Yeah. And the shape of China looks so insanely different to me, anyway. Like that whole
Well,
East Coast didn't go in with that river that goes in the middle coast on the east side, and just I remember the shape of China, and it was huge, and it was like nothing like it. Even with Mongolia as part of it, I'm saying just every side of it is different shape, and that big ridge in the south part of China, do you see that? It's like this big etched in groove of mountain right on the
let me
side.
look.
That was not there.
Let me look. Let's see.
Yeah, I could pull it out.
Yeah, because there's so many different geography changes, but yeah, I want to look quick.
Do you have screen share? I don't know how to do it.
Yeah, go ahead. If you can screen share like it as well.
Let's see.
Yeah. So
put it here. I don't think. No, mine doesn't have an image capture. Oh wait, here's share screen. Let me try it. I'm gonna experiment.
Yeah, because I can share your screen if you put it on.
Another thing I've also noticed though, when it's like surrounding China and Japan and Mandela effects, it's the way Tibet went. There's also a load of like changes there. Like when it's like Tibet used to be a Buddhist country before China invaded. So like most
yeah, I've always wanted to go to Tibet.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Now it's okay. So wait, bit of Venom says, in my memory, Tibet or Nepal was next to China. And now it's underneath China. It's underneath China now? That doesn't sound right.
Oh, that don't sound right. I remember it being above China.
Yeah. Yes. That's weird.
I remember seeing like all those documentaries that had, like the Tibetan monks there. And it was showing how
I have to look up Tibet.
Chinese rule.
It's underneath China now? Oh my gosh, that's weird. What? Some of this, oh my God. Some of this stuff is just so bizarre a world now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna put this up if it'll come up here. Not coming up though. Hi, Jim. Okay, so Benjamin says it didn't make sense at the time China invading Tibet or annexated it. Yeah. As soon as I can get this to come up, I'm gonna put it up here. But let's see, Tibet. That looks huge on that. Put this on, or try to.
I couldn't get the. I tried to get the screen share to work, but I couldn't upload the image in the side room.
All right, can you guys see that? Tibet's not that big. That's weird. Do you see that map? I know. That's what I'm saying.
Plus, when did Tibet like become like an island?
I know.
When it used to be landlocked in like mountains.
That's so weird, isn't it? Oh my
This
God.
just don't make any sense.
I don't know. I mean, just stuff like this just oh my God, it just gets me. I don't know. This is an interesting page though. Huh.
This is a messed up timeline.
Yeah, no shit. But I mean, just even look at, I mean, Tibet was never that big.
That's huge.
I know.
I remember them.
I know.
They had the little closed off area that was just for the, because they were condemned from Chinese society, and so they were just given their little area, but it wasn't that big. No way.
I remember it was like landlocked on both sides, and it only had one bit what was leading to water, and the rest of it was like in mountains.
Wow.
It's like that don't even look right the way it's appeared on that map.
Okay.
Yeah,
you know what it just says right here on this article? It says Tibet's like historical territory would make it the world's 10th largest nation.
Wow.
It was never that big.
Mm-mm.
No, it was tiny.
That is crazy.
And look at Thailand. Thailand was never like that. It's so bizarre. Thailand changed shape totally.
Also,
I don't know. We're on a different earth, you guys.
The myths, the folklore,
it's a different earth.
The legends. Look into them now. They have changed as well.
Wow.
It's like all these countries, they have like the folklore, the legends, and stuff like that.
Okay,
so if you look into them, they will have changed to like match the timeline.
So Jemima is asking who's talking. Jemima, it's Prelim, Rain, and Therion. I just wanted to let her know who was talking because she was asking because she couldn't see the screen. But yeah, I mean, that is crazy. Tibet was never that huge.
Huh.
Yeah, it was never that open.
I mean, and that's why, that's what we were talking about earlier, Prelim, is that are we on the same earth that's changing, or are we moving to different earths? Are we moving to different earths?
Is it changing, or are we moving?
We're moving.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that's logical.
I think we are too.
I
think we are too.
You know the channel Dale DeFay? He talks about all the different Earths. I enjoy watching his videos, but to me it gets kind of mind-boggling because he explains it. I mean, he explains it very well, but it's a lot to register like in one video because he says so much.
I love his channel. He's
great channel.
He's a great channel. Yeah. He has a great channel. But the thing is he's an advocate of that we're moving, to different Earths, and that we're in different avatar bodies and stuff like that. And so there's so many different things that you can think about. Like, is that the case, or is it just one Earth where we're just, everything's morphing? I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think?
He makes a case at least for that theory. He does it well. So I just keep it as a possibility. Like, maybe it's that.
I tend to observe and use the scientific method when looking at all these changes. it's like you got to look at everything that's logical.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like seeing tattoos move on like my arm.
Wow.
That's one thing, you know, it's like that's definitely changed.
Can you describe
and then
it?
looking at
How was it before and how is it now?
Okay, basically I'll explain the full story.
Okay.
It's my right arm, I did a load of tattoos on there myself.
Uh-huh.
When my mate had a tattoo shop.
Wow.
He showed me how to tattoo and stuff, and I just started like on my own skin. And I got him to pick a load of easy tattoos, and then I was doing them in random places. He was picking where, you know, just to try and make it more difficult for myself.
Uh-huh.
I've noticed all of them ones, they move round. I had no like choice in where they were or what they were. I just said there's like a page I'm okay with. That was like the only choice I had.
So okay, so you had, it was a definite place.
Yeah.
And then
what did you get used to seeing it every day, like when you look at your hand?
So where'd it go?
It's like there's one of them, it's a star, and it's like right where I'd have like the face of a watch if I put a watch on.
Uh-huh.
So I noticed if I have a watch on, it would be covered up. So if I'm wearing a shirt or something for like a job interview, it's not as obvious how many tattoos I've got.
So what's,
you know, because they don't want that many on show.
Okay.
And I've noticed that one moves. It'll like bounce forwards a bit or bounce backwards a bit, so it won't line up with the watches, even though it's like right on line with where it would be normally on my wrist.
And see, that's what I see too. Scar on my left arm from when I was a child. I fell on an axe. It's sometimes it's there and sometimes, and so I mean, you know, what do you say about that? I mean, sometimes I have that scar on my arm. Sometimes it's completely gone and there's nothing there. And I mean, that's weird, you know.
Another one is like the tattoos. It's a skull.
Huh.
And I've also got like a graveyard style angel statue tattooed on my arm, and sometimes the skull will be like above the angel, sometimes it'll be below the angel. It'll be jumping quite a distance. And I've got scars as well, and they're constantly like looking different, even though it's like I can remember it's like the same one. Seems to have happened on loads of timelines already.
One of my, I do a lot of drawing, and I did a grandfather clock, and I've looked at all my old drawing. I mean, I have like tons of portfolios.
Tattoo marker or like a birthmark type of thing, which I never used to have before, and all of a sudden it just appeared out. It's
Oh, you're breaking up, Rain. Can't hear you. So as I was saying, I was doing a grandfather clock drawing, and the number 4 changed to the, you know, the now common 4 ones. But I remember it being with an IV.
Yeah, I remember it with Ivy because that's how they did the Roman counting system, isn't it?
Yeah. So it just,
it'd be like IV would be 4, then V would be 5, then it's like VI would be 6.
VI, yeah.
Yeah, it depended where the I was in like location to the V.
Yeah, and it doesn't
whether
make
it was before or after.
Because 4 eyes takes up more space, so it seems like they would just. Why wouldn't they just keep the IV?
You know what's weird though is that like the 4 eyes are starting to look more like normal to me now, even though it was never that way for me. It was always IV. It was always IV. But the 4 eyes are actually starting to look like that's the way it's supposed to be. Is that crazy?
That IVI also had another meaning though. It's, you know, where you'd see them and they'd have like 3 archways, like 3 doorways to one room, you know, in the design. It's like with IVI, you know, like in the Roman style design. That would also be representing past, present, and future, with the V being present.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, bit of just brought up Ireland is right next to Scotland now, but I remember Ireland being smaller mass of a country. It looks bigger to me compared to how you know, the old reality.
That's interesting. Jemima says that Big Ben still says IV. What is so weird for me is that when that first came up, I was just like, what the hell? I've never seen, I or whatever for the 4, I'd never seen that. I was always IV. But now the 4 ones seem more normal. I guess I'm getting the download, I guess. I don't know. But it's just so bizarre. It's just so bizarre because of course I never saw that ever in my life. And then now it seems more normal to me than the IV. That's weird. It's just, I don't know. I don't know how to explain, all that stuff. It's just, it's bizarro world,
Well,
all of a sudden something
you,
that you've never seen in your life seems more normal than what you've always seen in your life. I don't know.
And the longer this goes on, as we start to see things as they are now, we have to retain our old memory of how it was.
Exactly.
Writing, keeping a journal of it, or drawings of it.
We have to fight for our memories because like it's starting to be replaced and to seem more normal, and that's what scares me as well, is just like, it's starting to seem more normal, these changes, and then you lose what you had.
The shock of it, compared to like in 2016, there was this, just utter shock to it, and now it's like, oh, Hudson Bay just got bigger again, and it's
Hudson Bay is huge. It's ridiculously huge. but it is weird because you start to take the download, basically, and I don't want to be able to, I don't want to do that. But so that's why, like, what you're saying is so important. We have to like journal or do something to like fight for the old memories that we had.
Yeah, and there's other ways you can do stuff, like you can make yourself stuff that will like be reminders to memories.
Yeah.
Think about it. It's like from the Christian aspect, it's like when Christians see the cross thing on the wall, like they're remembering. It's like to pray to Jesus. It's just a reminder. That's all it is. Seeing that cross. You can do that with other stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's freaky to me, but I just know that, we all experience all this stuff. And, if I didn't have you guys, I mean, I seriously would go insane.
Yeah.
I mean, because, I saw this stuff before, and before there was an internet and all that, and I still thought it was crazy. But right now, honestly, if I didn't have, you Prelim, you Therion, you Jemima, everybody that's in the chat, Digi, of course, Digi's like one of my main, people that I go to about all this stuff. And
Digi's like a therapist because he has,
yeah,
he's got that positive, upbeat kind of,
yeah.
like that.
But Digi is like, well, I mean, we don't need to go into all that, but he's helped me in a lot of different ways. So has Jesse Spots, even though Digi and Jesse don't get along anymore. But Jesse Spots has actually been a really good friend to me as well. And
I wish all the
and you do
people
to them, but
get along better.
But what I'm saying is if I didn't have people I could go to talk about all this craziness that we see, I mean, it would be so difficult, it would be so hard to not have, like, at least we have each other, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have each other. Even though we might not even see the same things exactly, but we trust each other, as far as like, like even when Digi was saying he saw the K on the Chick-fil-A 3 weeks ago, and you and me, Prelim, saw it 3 years ago, I mean, but we still, believe each other and know that, each other is telling the truth, and that we're saying this is how it is, for me, and we in a way to see the differences as well, because it's just kind of fun just to see that, we trust each other on all this stuff, even if we see different stuff, it's just kind of fun.
I've noticed, people like judging and that, to me, as Biddov was just saying, that there's just too much drama and like the high school
It is,
attitude of it isn't a competition. Or I like seeing the more obscure channels, people that are just more in the background. I'd like to see them come forward more and with what they're experienced.
Well, exactly. And it's just like, for me, when the effects first started happening, for me, I thought it was just two worlds, the old way and the new way. And the new way was however I saw it, you know what I mean? And I realized, of course, that that's not anything like what it is right now. I mean, it's like we all see things at different times. We all see, it's just, it's so hard to even wrap your brain around, like, the way all of us see different things. But we know that, we're kosher or whatever, if we know that we can trust each other in what we're seeing, even if we don't agree, or even if we don't see the same things, we know that the other person is telling the truth, and that they're seeing it that way, and that's the way it is for them, and whatever. Because it was so weird, because at the very beginning of this Mandela effect, I thought, there's only two worlds, the way it used to be and the way I see it. Well, of course, I don't think that at all anymore, and so it's just kind of fun. I don't know.
There's people like, I haven't seen MA for a long time. He was on a roll he was always making videos, and I think he just stopped, like he needed a break from the entire thing. Have you heard from MA?
Yeah, I've actually given him like some interesting information about like some of the changes that I've seen, and that I've talked to him about.
Did he make a new channel, or I just don't see his videos?
No, I think it's the same channel. And then, but he's changed. I mean, like, I remember the MA that has the little break in the eyebrow, and see, he doesn't have that break in the eyebrow right now. Do you remember the break in the eyebrow?
I gotta find his channel. I know I'm still subscribed. Maybe he blocked me or something. I don't know.
No, I don't think he would have blocked you,
I don't
but
think so.
well, he is kind of a little bit of
He would have been at one of his
hair.
random shell hunts. Remember one time
he is kind of a trigger. He
I know.
can have a trigger, but I don't think he would have blocked you.
Maybe I said something. Well,
no, I don't think
to
so.
find it from my other channel because I liked watching his videos thing.
Well,
yeah, I remember one time he went off at me and I had like a load of pictures to point something out to him.
And
I was like, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like he started calling me a show and stuff, and I'm like, no, these people are calling you stuff behind your back like this. I've got pictures here to prove it where I've screenshotted them.
Yeah, he does tend to think if people don't agree with him that
and
they're
like,
pills or whatever.
And I was like, dude, I don't agree with you on every aspect, but if you're going to go down that way, I just can't be bothered with the drama. If what drama, I'd buy a TV license.
Yeah. Oh, dang. I have not seen any MA videos for months.
Oh, it's direct. Prefer it's like if I point something out and stuff, I'll say it to the person's face.
Huh.
I won't be like saying it to other people first.
Therion, do you remember the MA that had the little break in the eyebrow?
Yeah.
And see, he doesn't have that anymore. You know? So I mean,
so he's gone back to like the creepy full-on monobrow style.
He's changed. I mean, people change. Just like Digi's teeth, like the other night, when he was on, and I'm like, your teeth are different, and he gives me crap about that, but it's true. I mean, people
I saw that change. No, Digi's teeth did change for me too. They're bigger and more.
Yeah.
I saw that, but it's like I was thinking, why are people just noticing that when his forehead's changed as well? Seriously, look at it like where his hairline is. It looks completely different than it used to.
Well, and his personality changed too, and we've talked about this theory, in which we don't need to go into it live,
but I'm alone on this one. Moneybags for me had brown eyes until earlier this year. Like all his earlier videos, he had gray blue, and then reverse that. He had brown, and then it switched to gray blue.
Yeah, I mean, I've just seen so many different changes from a lot of different channels. I mean, and even if the people don't even show themselves live, like for instance, Scarab or whatever. I mean, like it used to be Scarab Performance was 2 words, now it's 1 word, or
I remember that. It was 2 words.
It was 2 words.
It wasn't. Now it's both together as one.
And the same thing with like for Stonebender. I mean, his was 1 word, and now it's 2 words. And so, and then like Brian McFarlane, I've seen his name change. It was never McFarlane; it was McFarland. And now it's McFarlane. And there's just so many different things. And then like Gensploration went from 2 N's to 1. Scarab saw that one 2 months before I did, because I contacted her. I was like, has anyone said that your name changed from 2 N's to 1? And she's like, funny you should mention that. Dan from Scarab Performance said that it changed for him 2 months ago. But I had just seen a video of hers the day before. So it wasn't like I just missed it for 2 months. You know what I mean? I mean, I had seen a video of hers the day before, and it was 2 N's, and then the very next day it went to 1 N. And just crazy stuff like that, I mean, just weirdness. I don't know. I don't know. You can just go. And then some people have said my name's changed. Like I've always been Rain on the Plains, but some people call me Rains on the Plane. And then I can't remember what all else I've heard before. But so they've seen my name even as different. What is it?
Yours is the same to me. I haven't seen your name.
Yeah. Good. Good. Good.
Well,
But yeah, but
I'll talk later. I'm just gonna take off for now. And thanks for streaming, and Merry Christmas to you all.
oh, Merry Christmas, Prelim. I love
Merry
you.
Christmas, Prelim.
Have a
Alright.
good.
Thank you.
Have a great time.
You too.
All right. So Therion, it's just you and me. But yeah, I think it's funny how you and I have both seen Digi's personality change, and we won't get into the specifics because, damn it, he was supposed to get on here. He was backstage, and then he bailed out. I don't know what the fuck. But anyway.
Oh no, I hope it's not happened again. So I was getting used to having fun Digi around.
But I just think it's funny that you and I both see the changes in Digi. Oh gosh. All right. So 6 months you're gonna come to Colorado, right?
Probably about 6 to 7 months.
Okay.
So it's like January I'm gonna sort out my ID and passport because I've got to travel all the way up to Scotland to get my birth certificate first.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got
Well, I can't wait to
sorted.
see you. I mean, I'm gonna just you're gonna have the hugest hug from from me. I think it'll be awesome. And so where are you gonna go first in Colorado though? I mean, are you gonna maybe go to Suso's bar, or where do you think you're gonna go first?
I was thinking the nearest dispensary to the airport. And that's before I like even find somewhere to stay.
Yeah. Well,
like look at hotels and stuff, compared to like where the airports are.
Mm-hmm.
And then work out any travel I need to do from there. But the first thing I'm looking for is a dispensary.
There's tons of dispensaries in Denver. I mean, I can meet you. Let me know when you come in, and maybe I can meet you, and then we can go do some hanging out or whatever. But yeah, there's tons of dispensaries around the airport for sure. I mean, and the funny thing is that I don't even smoke weed that much. I mean, like I might do it a couple times a year or something like that. But I mean, I would definitely smoke some weed with you when you come into Colorado. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to flying, but there are some aspects what I think will be fun. Like I'm going to take a picture of the curvature of the glass when it's like the plane's on the tarmac.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm going to take a picture in the air and say, "Hey, look, you can still see the curvature of the window in like the air, but you can't see the curvature of the earth."
Right. Yeah, I don't know that I've ever seen the curvature necessarily from a plane. I've been in planes my whole life. My dad was a private pilot. And so like, I've been in private planes, jets. I've been in, I've never been afraid of flying ever. My dad used to stall out, on the private plane, when he was alive, and that one, because he actually died when he was 44. That sucks. But he was a private pilot, and I used to fly with him, and that was awesome. And but anyway, yeah, he would stall out, and I've never been afraid of planes ever in my entire life. I love planes. I love flying. I've always loved flying. Private planes, jets, whatever. But anyway, let's see here. I'm looking at some of the chat. You didn't recognize the guy from Leak Project, Rex, Bit of Venom? Yeah. He changed massively for me. Now, Rex hasn't changed so much for me, but he is in Colorado as well. He's in like Colorado Springs. There's so many people. Oh my God, there's so many people that are in Colorado. There's Rex from Leak Project, Jay Dreamers. He's also in Colorado Springs, I believe. And Wayne Steiger, there's a lot of truther channels in Colorado. Susu, obviously, me, Tonet, Algorithm. There's just a ton of people in Colorado to see.
Yeah, plus it's like, with like the location of Colorado, it's like I was thinking it's not that far for Floyd, because it's like, then it would be if I was like to meet him and like go all the way down to Texas with him.
Mm-hmm. Texas is a long ways from Colorado. I don't know if you know. Yeah, I mean,
also
it's
a long
like,
way from the West Coast, so it's like halfway point for him, honey and distance wise.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of making that the first bit of me visit Colorado.
Well, I would love to see you. I would give you such a big hug. You wouldn't even believe how big of a hug I would give you. That'd be so awesome. I would love it. I love anybody that comes to see me. And and then plus I stalked Suso at his bar. That was so funny. Because
I'd like to go to Suso's bar as well.
Oh my God, that was. And when I went there, I kind of played around with them. I was like, what the fuck is this Mandela effect? I was just like, giving him such a hard time about it, and I was like, I don't even think that's real, blah, 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 And then finally, because he was actually my very first interview that I had on my channel was Suso. And so so I was giving him such a hard time, and then finally I said, Suso, do you know who you're talking to? You're talking to Rain on the Plains. And he just ran around the bar, gave me a really big hug. It was a lot of fun. It was fun.
My plan is for when I get to Suso's bar, it start live streaming before I get in there.
Yeah.
So he's like not got time to prepare or anything. So it gets his reaction on video footage straight away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Moneybag 73.
I want to arrange
somebody was saying that
get as many people together as possible. Just thinking about how cool it'd be if it's like a few of us from the community were to just walk into Suso's bar at one point. Like
I know, that would be awesome. That'd be great.
Just like a little mini conference in his bar.
Yeah, you and
like pack the place out to
me, Digi,
take the place over.
Yeah, that would be fun. That would be awesome. But no, Suso's great. I mean, he is so real. Like the way you see him on his videos is exactly the way he is in real life. I mean, he's really, really cool and just really genuine. And because like a lot of times, like some of these channels are like, for instance, and I don't want to diss Dan or anything like that, but the way he is on his channel is like so like quote unquote professional, and then when he gets on another channel, he like acts a totally different way, and I love the way he acts and the way he really is, like on other people's channels. Like he was on like Hebrew from Eternia, and he's a totally different person on a different channel. And I kind of feel like you should be who you are all the time, but I kind of understand it at a certain point because he wants to maintain his professionalism or whatever the fuck, but I'm just saying he's a lot more fun when he's on other people's channels, and I like him a lot more on other people's channels because I get bored with him on his channel. Sorry, Dan. No, I get bored with him on his channel because he's just too professional. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's like a limit though. It's like with live streaming and like normal life, where you've got to keep like a balance.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't change anything in the way I am to be on YouTube. The only thing I change is I try to swear a lot less. And don't tell like a load of like dark jokes what I know would get me kicked off straight away. Just because they're jokes they're not fit for human consumption.
Yeah. Well, for me, I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty much I am a little bit more free on other people's channels than my own. Although I think I've pretty much been open tonight, whatever. But I don't know. I feel like you should really be yourself no matter what channel or, even whether it's on your own or other people. I don't know. I mean, is there really anything to hide from anybody? I mean, I don't necessarily want to hide anything from anybody. You know what I mean? I don't know.
So like, think about it. It's like the way countries are getting now, especially with the internet, where it's like everyone's lives already online.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really have a choice. It's like the government even do that. So you might as well control what you put out yourself.
Yeah, I don't know. I just I get to me it gets weary trying to hide myself. I just like I don't want to hide myself at all. I'm just like what you see is what you get, and what you hear is what you get, and blah blah blah. And if you don't like me, so what? I mean, unsubscribe. I don't give a shit, But I don't know. I feel like I feel like if we can't be real with each other, what is the use? You know what I mean?
Well, you got to keep it real.
Yeah.
Because look at these channels where they put on fake personas and they're trying to hide the real person.
Mm-hmm.
And it just doesn't come across as right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
well,
like,
I hope you guys always have felt like I've. Yeah, I hope you guys have always felt like I've been real with everybody, because I don't really, I mean, I put like too much embarrassing stuff out there. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
I just put out I am normally. It's like even when I'm drunk or high, I'll still be live streaming or putting videos up.
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed, just from like looking at myself, just to like looking at body changes through Mandela effect. At least when I'm drunk, I'm consistent to when I'm sober.
Well, and I've been a little bit tipsy occasionally. I've snored a couple times, but
I'm just happy now looking at it when I've been drunk and stuff, and I'm like completely like different from like when I was a teenager and younger. Because like when I was younger, I'd be raising hell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, it's just like even though I've embarrassed myself like completely, about snoring like with 10-hour long streams and shit like that. I'm snoring for 5 hours of it. I kind of feel like at least I showed that I was real. I'm real. I'm a real person.
Yeah, it proves you're human.
So I mean, I'm gonna edit those streams, obviously, but I think it's kind of funny in a way, because honestly, I was so embarrassed at first, and then I was like, I don't give a shit. Why would I care about this? I mean, I'm a real person. I fell asleep, I snored, whatever. Who cares? But
Yeah,
I don't.
One way I look at it is like because I'm an insomniac, I'm awake 24/7, normally talking to people. The only times I normally take breaks of, it's like I'll turn off all my technology and I'll do something else, so I'm not looking at any screens. People be like, "You never sleep." It's like you're like a robot. And then the one time I fall asleep on a live stream, it gets deleted. Well, people have had their evidence now. They've seen that I do fall asleep at times.
That's funny. Oh, jeez.
I'm thinking about it, like, on the topic of that stream, the snoring and stuff. Yeah, I think I did a very good job giving a commentary to what I truly thought of the Mandela Effect movie.
Yeah.
I just gave a playback of responses to how I felt watching it.
Yeah, I need to edit that because I took it down. There's 2 long streams that I took down that I'm gonna put back up, but I'm gonna do it in the edited version where I'm not snoring because I fell asleep a couple different times, and one's like an 11-hour long stream, one's like a 10-hour long stream, and I'm just like snoring away. Oh my God, it's just like I'm just snoring away. So like, I am going to edit those, and I'm going to, because I do want people to hear what like Darkwolf and I, it was so amazing because Darkwolf and I, like, we watched the video almost exactly the same time, and then so like we were able to I went live right after that because I didn't want to like have my perceptions altered by other opinions. And so like right after I saw it, I went live, and Dark Wolf did too. And so we went live together as far as like doing the review of the Mandela Effect movie. And so I took that down, but I'm gonna put it back up edited because like the last part is where I'm snoring and stuff. But the first part is really cool when Dark Wolf and I were talking about it and everything. But yeah, it's just I don't know. I like I said, I don't really have anything to hide, and really I should probably just leave those videos up even with me snoring because it makes me look more real, I guess. But yeah, it was kind of embarrassing. But whatever, I don't care. But I don't know, just without you guys, I mean, like, Therion, I always think of you, and, you've been on my channel for so long, and then, just, if I didn't have people like you, and people like Digi, and people, just a lot, and Prelim has always been there for me, too, but if I didn't have,
because there's a lot of decent people on YouTube.
Yeah, if I didn't have you guys, I would go crazy. I mean, I would seriously go crazy if I didn't have people like you to talk to, because it's like, even if we don't see it eye to eye, whatever, it's still like we have each other's backs. We know what we're experiencing. We know what's going on. We know that this world is fucked. And it's just
we know how to act. We know to take it for what it is. Just sit back and enjoy the puppet show, eat some popcorn, and don't let worry it too much. Just keep an eye on the changes as they happen.
Yep, exactly. Well, I think I'm gonna have to go. It's already been over 3 hours right now. Thank you so much for joining me, Therion. I wish Digi would have come on. I know he tried, and I'm so pissed off that I didn't. I don't know what happened, because that really bothers me that he couldn't get on here. But I'm so glad Prelim got on here as well, because you guys have been like the mainstays of my channel, and love you so much, both of you. And Rocco Donato, love you too. Jemima, love you as well. Bit of it, Venom. Let's see who else is in the chat. Thank you so much for.
Yeah, Mike's cut out. Hi everyone, have a great day. Good night, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Bye everyone.
Okay, you guys, I'm so sorry. I'm going to end this broadcast. Therion, thank you so much for being here. I'm sorry that you had to get off. Now again, my Wi-Fi sucks. Thank you so much, Prelim. Thank you for being here, Bit of Venom, Jemima. Thank you for being here. I so appreciate it, and I love you all. Have a great Christmas Eve, all. And I'm so sorry that I can't stand it that Therion got off without me saying and being able to say goodbye to him. Therion, love you. Rocco, Jemima, Venom, everyone. I'm so every one of you, and I love you each. Love you. Bye bye.